shit, bro. Ross, what's up, man? What's good with you?
What's up, man? What's up, man? It's good to be back.
It definitely is good to be back. I think it's definitely necessary for us to go live. It's necessary for us to talk about the topics at hand, to really delve into it. But the main thing is, earlier today, a couple of hours ago, I got the message. By the way, shout outs to you for telling me to, tap in with Boxing News 24. As soon as I got up,
Mm-hmm.
I saw that there was a interaction, live interaction. Clearly, they were doing it via social media between Bill Haney and Floyd Mayweather, and I couldn't help but to laugh at it because none of this would have transpired. You see, the problem with us Hebrews, we tend to be stiff necked, we tend to be divisive, we tend to be divide and conquer with our mentality to the point where we do it ourselves. It's not even the
Mm-hmm.
yes master doing it. He's already indoctrinated whatever embedded theology he has. It is us doing it with ourselves. And the problem is, why even allow yourself, what's up? Salute to you, Jordan, 6-time bishop, to put yourself in a position to where you have to deal with something like that when you didn't even have to deal with it in the first place.
Facts.
Devin Haney got exposed initially in the Alfredo Santiago fight. This is back in 2019, man. I remember me and you were laughing at that fight because in that fight, we both talked about, first and foremost, Devin Haney is moving incorrectly because how are YouTubers at the time basically headlining the fight? It was Logan Paul versus KSI. I'll never forget that fight.
Right.
Was headlined it. It was an Eddie Hearn promotion, and you can't fault Eddie Hearn as a businessman because if those guys are more popular than you, then business says that they need to be the one headlining the fight, not you.
Facts.
And then on top of that, you get on a stage of that magnitude because it's the first stage where you're finally being exposed to the masses, and then you get exposed with counter
Right.
shots. You know what I saw in that fight? I kept seeing, and I know you saw that too because we was laughing at it. Devin Haney was in survival mode. We were the first two to say that he is a survival type of fighter because every time he was getting hit with counters, what did he do? He did the most reckless thing you do as a fighter. He hugged. He tried to hug his opponent, but when you go and hug the opponent, you don't hug them with your hand down. That means they can get another few more shots in
Right.
before you actually hug them. You're supposed to hug them, but hug them in a way to where you don't allow their hands to
Yeah.
be mobile to be able to hit you. So I really want to know what your take is on Bill Haney and his rant that eventually died down towards the end of that conversation with Floyd. What was that to you?
Um, I got a lot of thoughts, but I'm gonna answer your question first. So when I tune into the little back and forth spat, what I realized is I didn't think Bill Haney was thinking he was gonna talk to Floyd this quickly. Because when Floyd got on, when they got on the IG together, Ben Haney tried to smile and act like everything was cool, trying to be smooth. Then Floyd's like, "What's this beef that we got? Like, now let's get to this beef." And then Bill Haney had to build up the courage to say how he always been feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
what we saw in front of us was a conversation supposed to be had over the phone
Yep.
years ago.
Yep.
But when you feminine, you just hate on a nigga, hate on him, talk shit about him, talk trash about him, talk trash about him. Then you let things spill over, and then y'all have it out. That's backwards. You know what I'm saying? And I was always wondering why is Bill Haney always, as soon as the mic is put in his face, he's always saying something negative about Floyd Mayweather.
Mm-hmm.
They could be talking about anything. He'd be like, "Yeah, Haney's not like Floyd. Haney's gonna fight everybody. Haney got undisputed. Floyd can never have got undisputed. Floyd, like shit like that." I was like, bro, why is he going out his way to hate on somebody who ain't got nothing to do with promotion, nothing to do with nothing? You know what I'm saying? But that was,
Mm-hmm.
but I had to think about it. Majority of black men who come into boxing, they all do the same thing. Deontay Wilder was doing it. Jamel Charlo does it. Like anybody, like all these guys, they feel like they're doing something extra if they don't use Floyd as a resource. They want to say I did it without Floyd. Deontay Wilder said, I didn't want to work with Floyd because I didn't want Floyd to take none of the credit. You rather lose than share some of the credit? You rather lose and watch your son get beat up on and be mercy. He was at their mercy. There was nothing Bill Haney could do because Bill Haney don't know enough to tell his son. Bill Haney ain't never boxed. He's never been in that situation. He don't know what to tell his son.
Mm-hmm.
But you take him out of the caretaking of who? Floyd Mayweather Sr. For what?
Exactly.
You thought that month of you watching Floyd Sr. do pad work with your son, you thought that was enough that you could steal and make this dude into a monster? These guys have decades and decades upon knowledge in boxing. They know things. They know how to motivate certain guys. They know what the game plan. He had no game plan.
Exactly.
Jab, jab, throw the right hand. If you get hit or if you get close to getting hit, they'll wrap up. But bro,
I mean, you would think he would give up the whole trainer bit when in one of the fights, me and you both heard him say, "Fight like Roy Jones Jr."
Right. No, I think that was Teofimo. I think that was Teofimo father who said that. But him and Teofimo father, they both are in their kids' ways.
Yep.
There's only so far without any. Virgil Hunter, I think, is the only person who got somebody to a championship level and kept them there without having to be a boxer himself.
Yep.
Very few people can do that, man. And Bill Haney is not one of them. Another thing that bothered me in that little spat was Bill Haney was running out of things to say, so he said, "Well, I'm active in the streets. I'm still a street nigga." Ain't Bill Haney damn near 50 or 50 years old? even 50-year-old niggas who are still in organized crime don't say shit like that.
Exactly. It's an embarrassment to say that you're age.
Right. You saying that you're not even like that. It's not like you like a Larry Hoover type or you really a Jay Prince type. You are Bill Haney. You saying you in the streets. You saying it like a young boy, like you out there with them kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now Floyd's like, that's not nothing to glorify, man. You should grow up. It should look all bad. Your son just took a loss. You have the attention and the audience of the best fighter who have ever lived, boxing wise. Mm-hmm. Instead of asking him pointers, you're gossiping and you're putting up the fuss and you're trying to debate someone who forgot more about boxing than you will ever know.
Exactly.
You're trying to be on this man's level and it's painful to watch. It was hard for me to watch that as a man.
You know who you remind me of? Kwame Brown. Instead of just seeing things for what they were, you had Michael Jordan, who is the equivalent of Floyd in basketball. Then you had Kobe Bryant, another Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? But he's his own Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the equivalent of the greatest. You get what I'm saying? You have both of those guys.
Kobe's like Ali.
Yeah, you have both of those guys.
Super great, but he has lost. Yeah.
Great point. I'm glad you said it like that. You have both those guys, and then you fuck it up. But then when people mention those guys, you want to get in your feelings. Right. What is up with these guys having the new term that I've been using for a while? What is up with these guys having manginas?
It all goes back to their upbringing, man. Upbringing says a lot. Man. And until you get the therapy, and until you start learning and actually seeking wise counsel from older men, no matter how old you get, you'll never develop to where you need to develop as a man, where you're too proud to talk to older, wiser men and get advice and get wise counsel. But Bill Haney's that type. Bill Haney thinks he's as big of a staple in boxing as Floyd Mayweather Jr. is. Like he doesn't know there's levels.
I mean, does he think that, or did the LDBC put that indoctrination in his head? Because let's be honest.
Either way, he's carrying himself like he thinks so.
When they want to push someone selectively, they'll false feed garbage, because this is the second time that they've effectively been able to get the whole divide and conquer of getting these types of individuals to get out of pocket with Floyd. This
Right.
happened with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder was being so he was listening to these folks so much that he started getting disrespectful. I don't remember in the beginning he was ever disrespectful with Floyd, but he started getting disrespectful with Floyd Mayweather through the conversations of these individuals. And I think it hurts the LDBC more with Devin Haney because with Deontay Wilder was already an established product. Devin Haney, they
Mm-hmm.
basically went with Devin Haney from the beginning up until now. So they really needed Devin Haney to win out. And one thing about this organization that is fucked up is they know these guys have deficiencies in their arsenal, but they choose to be blind to the deficiencies, not be honest with these fighters, and coddle their deficiencies all because they want interviews, all because they want access. When you are in a umbrella of an environment with someone else, you want to be honest with that person. And you need to tell that person their shortcomings. So it was so prideful for them to tell him, hey, because we hate Floyd, because Floyd didn't put us on, Floyd put on Dante's Boxing Nation, fuck Floyd. You shouldn't have no affiliation with Floyd.
Right.
Even though Bill Haney is not a trainer, oh, you know what? You'll figure it out. Let's bring in what's that dude's name? Mickey Bay, Mike Bay, however the fuck you want to say his name. Let's
Right.
bring in Bay, as if Bay was going to be the difference and the equalizer of what Floyd ever was. Since when was Mickey Bay ever a Floyd Mayweather? I actually heard individuals, I was repulsed hearing this. I heard individuals got so out of pocket to say, well, he learned everything. He's a trainer. He learned everything up on the floor. You can't do Floyd unless you're Floyd. You can't
Right.
do MJ unless you're MJ. You can't do Deion Sanders unless you Deion Sanders. These guys are winners. You can't do Kobe Bryant unless you're Kobe Bryant. You can't do Tom Brady unless you're Tom Brady. You have to be these motherfuckers.
Right.
I don't care how much you try to learn up under these motherfuckers. You're never going to be what these guys are because you're not them. Because there's a certain mentality that they have. There's a certain way that their wheels turn that a Mickey Bay who has already lost at a professional level. I remember Mickey Bay got embarrassed, basically damn near got excoriated by Floyd in front of everyone to the point to where Leonard Ellaby had to get in. So a guy that's soft as cottonelle tissue paper as him, he's able to be on the level to train. When you had Floyd Mayweather Sr., the last time we seen Devin Haney look crispier than a three-piece was when Senior had him, because Senior had his hands up. Senior had the shoulder roll looking crispy. Once he left Senior in them, yes, Senior started stuttering. He started getting older. That's why you got Floyd. You
Right.
transitioned from Senior to Junior. You could have been
Right.
transitioning to Junior full time because Junior full time is always there. Javante Tank Davis's big fights right there at the ringside saying, hey, do this, do that, do this, do that. He could have
Right.
done the same thing with Devin Haney. Right now, Devin Haney would have not suffered a loss if he had Floyd Mayweather and he enlisted into him. After the Alfredo Santiago fight, it would have been the equivalent of when Floyd enlisted after Miguel Cotto. Floyd went to his father and was like, look, I'm taking too much punishment. I'm no longer offensive. I've lost a few steps. I just need to be defensive oriented. Dad, can you help me? Even the great Floyd Mayweather did that. So if Floyd can humble himself and do that, why you couldn't do that after Alfredo Santiago? I don't understand that, bro.
You know. And here's the thing. Um, Being with Floyd doesn't guarantee you'll be undefeated the whole rest of your career because Floyd has had fighters to lose. But you will lose fighters against the top level. You'll lose a fight against the top level competition. It wouldn't be
Exactly.
against a guy like Garcia, who's all over the place. But Devin Haney has one issue in his game that is incorrectable, that you can't correct. He is chinny.
Yep.
And he's so chinny that it don't matter who hit him. If they hit him flush, he gets hurt.
Facts.
It don't matter who hits him. If he gets hit flush, he gets hurt. So that means
Well,
anybody has a chance to beat this dude, man. So instead of you sitting here and you attacking Floyd, you got time to go back and forth with Floyd Mayweather Jr. You should be getting him trying to figure out how can you get your son next 3 fights to be the biggest payday of his career because he's gonna have to retire soon. He's not gonna be able to move
yep.
up to 147. He can't stay at
Yep.
140 forever, and he can't go down to 135. Devin Haney's
Yep.
career is going to be over soon, guys. Soon. Listen to me. He can't go to 147.
Yep.
And actually have a chance as he fights all bums. He can't fight nobody in the top 10 at 147. They're gonna stop him.
Yep.
He can't stay at 140 because he already complained about making 140. And he can't go back down to 135. So what are you gonna do? He's gonna retire or fight catchweights the rest of his career.
Yep.
This is serious, man. That loss he took is very serious.
That loss has had a jarring effect on him. And see, this is one thing we have to talk about as Negroes and Hebrews. We take losses worse as a people than any other race. Sometimes losses could create PTSD. Sometimes it could create ADHD. Sometimes it could create Down syndrome for us. Sometimes it could create, basically, it could put us in a whirlwind where we start having all of these mental episodes. And I think that's what's going on. That's why you see Devin Haney is quiet. Remember, Devin Haney went from boisterous, talking shit, to he just went black. He went dark. He's taking this loss hard because now what he's thinking about is, damn, all of the decisions I made. What if I would have pivoted this way? What if I would have pivoted that way? He's starting to doubt himself. And here's the thing. The number one thing he should have done, young, and a point was made very well here was, I know Devin is young, but he should have stepped in and told his father he was staying with Floyd Sr. That's exactly what he should have done, man. And here's the caveat. Now the whole world knows whatever you do in the dark will always be revealed to the light. You was giving Ryan Garcia 40%, right? But you weren't even willing to give Shakur 25%. The world knows now he ducked Shakur Stevenson. And to be honest with you, I'm glad he didn't fight Shakur because I think Shakur would have given him a beating that would have been a forever meme. If I'm being honest with you, that beating would have been a forever meme, man. If I'm going to be honest with you. It's actually good that he didn't fight Shakur Stevenson because he would have gotten embarrassed by his own.
And that's the thing. He did it to Shakur Stevenson just because he would rather put money in the Mexican pocket than he would another brother, basically.
Ooh, I think you need to say that again, man. Because that sting, that one hit hard when you said that.
He did that because he would rather put money in the Mexican's pocket than put money in his own brother's pocket. Hey, everybody who's listening to us, donate to motivate, man. Donate to motivate, man. You know what I'm saying? It would be nice if I came in with at least 10 to start it off, but donate to motivate. Because we both have been entirely busy, and we have set this all aside to say, you know what? The people need to hear our voices. We know that the streets been starving, so donate to motivate, y'all.
Well said. I couldn't even say it any better, man.
And you should probably put the cash up bigger, bro, so they can see it and shit.
Because I couldn't have said it any better, man.
Yeah,
you said it perfectly.
Yeah, and make sure you send it all just to He Knows, and He Knows will split it up with me later on today if y'all donate. But yeah, I believe that was the whole thing because it didn't make any sense to fight Ryan Garcia coming off a Tank Davis loss, unless you thought you was gonna get a wounded animal with Ryan Garcia, which is a duck and a cherry pick. If you were really trying to
playbook from Canelo.
Right. If you're really trying to give the people the fight that they wanted, then you would have given them the fight, the Shakur Stevenson fight. But you went and you found the secondary fight, and you justified it because you said, "Well, Garcia is a bigger name." Okay, cool. All right, you can justify that. But at the end of the day, now you took a loss to Garcia that's unexplainable when Shakur Stevenson loss would have been explainable.
That would have been way more of a credible loss.
That would have been a more credible loss.
And you could still hold your head up high.
Right.
Because you lost against a guy that you were supposed to lose against.
Right.
Whereas
Ryan Garcia get knocked out by Ryan Garcia.
With Ryan Garcia, you thought in your mind you could beat him. But see, this right here, I'm glad you said that because now what this shows is that the Earl Spence and the Terrence Crawford fight was a fake fight. Because everybody kept getting on Derrick James, talking about Derrick James. And this is the thing with boxing fans that I can't stand. Even people that supposedly rock with us, they think I haven't been paying attention. But here's the thing about paying attention. Ross taught me this. Ross was like, yo, you need to sometimes go through these channels and look at the comment sections and see what people are saying. You know, in my little hiatus time, that's what I was doing. And to my surprising surprise, I saw people that normally rock with us. They were in there blaming Earl Spence and blaming this and blaming that. I didn't say nothing. I just sat there and was like,
Hmm.
damn, this is what the fuck Ross is talking about. These motherfuckers talk a little differently when they're somewhere else. They come over here and talk the way they talk, and then they go over there and they talk completely different.
Because they're
Saying,
sheep,
you know,
and sheep are easily controlled and easily herded.
mm-hmm,
Because God is making it their nature to buck. The only sheep that
mm-hmm.
bucks is the ram.
Facts.
The rest of them, they're easily herded.
Yep.
So whoever has a staff and speaking, they going, oh yeah, that sounds good. Oh yeah, that sounds good. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, I didn't think about it that way. They saying that to three opposing different views. You can't be on three opposing different views.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts. I'm glad you said that because the when I saw that, I couldn't believe in my mind. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why are people talking reckless like this? But the reason for that, and the reason why people are hurt, their butt hurt. If you notice, all of the Devin Haney supporters are quiet right now. The reason why, and they're going to be quiet for a while, is because they honestly thought he was going to be the one that was going to lead them to their false version of a promised land.
Right,
You cannot get behind a mediocre fighter. See, the problem with people don't like to be honest with people. You knew eventually Devin Haney was going to go up the levels and fight a fighter that was eventually going to be able to hit and connect.
right.
Me and you
Eventually,
have said it. Even though Ryan Garcia is an Instagram fighter, he has skills.
right.
We've said this plenty
And he
of
got
times.
power.
And he got power. And we know Devin Haney's chin is suspect. So all he got to do is connect. What Derek James did that was so masterful, and people don't give Derek James enough credit for it. Derek James uses brute force to beat boxing skills into submission. I'm going to say it again. He uses brute force to beat boxing skills into submission. The reason why I know the Terrence Crawford and the Earl Spence fight was fake was because when Michael Jai White came out, Michael Jai White said, I got insiders information that said Earl didn't have it that night. And this was prior to the fight.
Right,
And then not only a credible source saying that, we then look at how Terrence Crawford has moved. He's never had this level of celebrity. He's never had this level of fame. He's never had this level of success. But all of a sudden, now that Terrence Crawford has tasted it, I don't want to give this back.
right,
So I'm just going to hold on to this as long as I can possibly hold on to it. If people are paying attention, he is evading. He's trying to get away from the rematch.
fast.
But see, he can't. Because what people have to understand is Al Heyman runs boxing. I'm going to say that again. Al Heyman runs boxing. And people got mad when Gervonta Tank Davis said it, because Gervonta Tank Davis said it a few days ago. Al Heyman runs boxing. All Al Heyman is going to do is he's going to throw a bunch of detours and a bunch of picket fences in front of Terrence Crawford until Terrence Crawford has no choice but to fight that rematch,
Right, to honor his word.
to honor his fucking
If you
word.
didn't want a rematch, you should have said so. But you didn't think you was going to beat Errol Spence.
Because I gave you the biggest payday of your life.
Right,
I've made more. This is what Al Heyman did, and Al Heyman can say that. I've done more for you in one fight than Top Rank has ever done for your whole boxing career. So you
right,
owe me. You got to bring it back. You got to give me this rematch, because
right,
it's not about the honoring of the rematch. It's about the money that needs to be made here. I invested into you. Now I need to see a return on my investment. I don't care. See, what people got to understand with Al Heyman, he does not care about the end result. And it's crazy to say that, whether he rocks with someone or not, he does not care about the end result. What he cares about is the bottom line. The bottom line of him getting paid and everybody else getting paid. Because win, lose, or draw, as long as you get paid, guess what? It's not about boxing. It's about you being able to take care of your family. It's about legacy. This is how
fact.
businessmen think. They're not thinking about, oh, because I'm helping you out. I don't have a personal bias in helping you out. What I do have is the ability to make you wealthy, the ability to make you rich. Now, if you win, lose, or draw, that's on you. But you're going to get money in your pocket. You're gonna be able to take care of yourself. And Terrence Crawford has already been making moves that you could tell he's never had that money before. Bought a big fucking house that he's never. I don't even know why he needed to buy that big house that he's building. He's buying all kinds of shit. So Al Haym is just using the game of patience. Patience is a powerful tool because all he has to do is wait until that money runs low, and then say, "Hey, you didn't get the Canelo fight. Jamel Charlo fight is off the table. You can't get this fight. You can't get that fight. You know the fight that you need to get. You've moved up to 154. You restarted all over again."
Mm-hmm.
And this is where it goes to your point. This is where Spence will automatically get the rematch to work in his favor. Fight Fundora, get the belt from Fundora, and guess what? Now he's a champion at 154. And now you force that rematch, boom, perfectly to happen
Right.
in a smooth fashion.
Right. Because now, what's going to be your excuse? Oh,
Exactly.
man, what has Errol Spence done since we fought? He ain't do nothing but go to 154, become a champion again. Now what's up? And now who has the biggest fight of their life and don't capitalize on that prestige and have another fight to get another payday?
Exactly.
He's been sitting around waiting to see who he can fight where he don't got to fight Errol Spence.
That doesn't make sense.
And nobody's saying nothing about it, man.
And you could
Nobody's
make
saying
double
nothing.
the money. You could make double the money you made in the first fight, triple in the third fight.
Right. Everybody in the chat, if you agree with what we're saying, press the number 3 in the chat. If you agree with what we're saying, man. You know what I'm saying? Press the number 3, man. Let us know you agree with what we're saying. If you just had the biggest fight in your life and won, whether it be behind the scenes or whatever, other things at play, at the end of the day, it strikes as a W on your tally. Why are you not fighting again?
Exactly.
And if you're not gonna give Errol Spence a rematch, the only course of action not to get Errol Spence a rematch means you fighting Bruce Ennis at
Exactly.
147. You can't stay at 147 and fight nobody. And you can't go
Yep.
to 154 and not fight Errol Spence.
Yep.
You can't do both things. That's a
And
dud.
he don't want to fight Boots because Boots is the same fighter as him, but younger. Shout outs to Dutch Entertainment for the super chat. Appreciate you, man.
That's entertainment. That's what we're talking about. Let's give a round of applause. That's what we're
Jordan
talking about, man.
Bishop, appreciate you sending the cash out. Appreciate that, man.
That's what we're talking about, man. That's what we're talking about. You know, so we know y'all work hard for your money. We know that. But at the same time, we have different ventures and different things going on too. And sometimes we feel bad because we're not giving y'all the type of energy that y'all need, but it's because it's not giving us any dividends.
Exactly.
But these cash apps and these whatever they call these things here keep coming in. That will be able to pull us away from what we getting into. You know what I'm saying? It would. And if it ain't enough to pull, he knows. I think I can know how to motivate him and pull him. But you know what I'm saying? But because we know how to motivate each other like that. But at the end of the day, y'all gotta understand.
Shout outs to that boy for sending the $5 cash app. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate all the cash apps coming in, man. Press 3 if y'all agree on this. Don't y'all think that I'm on to something when I say Crawford is definitely trying to duck? Because okay, you're the champion at 147. You don't want to fight Errol Spence, even though you say you will fight him at 154. Fine, you gotta defend your title at 147. Why are you defending your titles? Is it not because you know you caught Errol Spence at a bad time? Is it not because you knew something was going on with Errol Spence and you wanted to get him before he got to 154? Because Errol Spence could have did something that Floyd Mayweather Jr. would have did. If Floyd Mayweather Jr. was that tight, he would have said, "Fight me at 154." If he could never make weight at 147, he would have forced himself to.
Yep.
And Errol Spence could have did that, but he didn't. He said, "Fuck it, let's fight at 147."
Yep.
So you got to honor that. You have to honor that.
Yep. When you beat someone, you would be confident enough to beat them if you really beat them. I'd be like, man, yeah, let's go. Why not? That's easy money. And I get more money on top of that. What is the holdup? It's because I believe that Earl Spence was told to tank the fight so that way money could be generated. I believe that. I have no doubts in my mind. I believe that because at the end of the day, we've been noticing a trend here. Me and Ross we coined it WWE boxing contracts. We've been noticing a trend since the Wilder and Fury. Bilateral rematch is really a 3-fight deal, because whoever wins the first fight, win, lose, or draw, there's going to be a second fight, win, lose, or draw, and then the third person gets bragging rights.
Press 3 if y'all agree. Press 3 if
Press
y'all
3
agree.
if you agree.
Keep going, bro. Keep going.
Because at the end of the day, Tyson Fury won out, right? Because he won that third fight. It doesn't matter what happened in the first 2 fights, but because he won the third fight, he gets bragging rights. Well, this was going to be the same thing with Spence and Crawford, because even though Spence dominates Crawford in the second fight, now guess what? There's going to be a third fight to have to decide the winner.
That's where we disagree. I believe when Spence dominates Crawford in the second fight, if Bud don't retire and don't stop it from happening, I believe Bud's career gets ended that night.
I agree with you on that. But this is the thing.
And because he's so fucked up, it can't be no third fight. but
you're probably right about that shit. You're probably right about that shit.
But that would suffice against the losses. Guess what?
Mm-hmm.
If Errol Spence don't have no neurological damage going on, and it's just him being, because I believe it was one of two things: either he threw it, or it just he was selling himself because he couldn't make 147 no more.
Mm-hmm.
Errol at 154 is going to hydrate to at least 170 pure muscle.
Yeah. You can say that again, boy.
At least 170 pure muscle,
which is close to his walking rate.
So his walking rate. So him dying down and him having his equilibrium being gone, because when you're weight drained or when you're dehydrated, it messes with your equilibrium. Somebody could just push you over.
Facts. Press 3 if you agree.
He knows because me and him both been in military training. You train so hard, and you have we had this thing called battle stations, which is our final evolution, which they push you to the limit. And I don't know what they call their shit, but they be out in the woods like damn it. Of course. Not I'm talking about y'all last stage y'all gotta do to graduate.
Yeah, the obstacle course.
Y'all call it the obstacle course? Will y'all be out in the woods all that time and shit?
Yeah, damn right.
So after those things are done, you're so tired and you're so dehydrated because you haven't eaten. Guess what? Somebody can just push you over.
Yep.
And you're disoriented. Why do you think Errol Spence had no balance? Bud's not stronger than Errol Spence. He was able just to push him over and pull him around and do all this because he wasn't already there. Now, imagine him fighting a fully rehydrated Errol Spence at 154.
He would have got washed.
Please press 3 if you agree. Please.
Yes.
Mike Rim, what's up, man?
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because here's the thing, Ross, that's so beautiful about what you said. If you notice, Errol Spence has not mentioned who his next trainer is. I honestly believe they took a playbook from Gervonta Davis and Floyd to make people in the public think there's this thing going on between them. But I believe that when it's all said and done, they're going to get back together. Here's why I know that. Because Frank Martin is a Errol Spence fighter. And who's his trainer still? Derek James. Come on, man. Sometimes you just got to put 2 and 2 together. Because if they really wasn't training with each other no more, why would Errol Spence continue to have his fighter under Derek James? That doesn't make sense.
Alex L., you said it's about time we came back, and I feel the same way, but there's a reason why we've been gone. Me and him both have different ventures that pull us away from content creating. If content creating becomes more fruitful, i.e., you guys don't anymore, you guys give more of these whatever you call the things, what do you call them when we're on live?
Super chats.
The super chats.
Cash apps.
It will bring us back, because it'll suffice for the money we losing. But yeah,
or Tom Ross's Venmo, because y'all have access to his Venmo.
I would rather them send it to one place than it be separated like that. But but yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? So that's why we've been gone. You know what I mean? But anyway, back to what I was saying. In this case, that sheds light on what is Bud Crawford doing, because all this time, before he had the fight with Errol Spence, he kept saying, everybody's ducking me. Nobody wants to fight me. Okay, you got all the belts now. So you make all the rules. Why are you not fighting anybody?
Exactly.
Because it was you the whole time.
It was him the whole time.
It was him the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
And now Al Heyman could look back. This is the thing what people don't understand. Al Heyman speaks very loudly, but quietly at the same time. I'm gonna say that again. He speaks very loudly, but quietly at the same time. Like when that term where they say killers move in silence, he's moving in silence because now he has it in the history books. He has credibility in the fight. I gave you, Terrence Crawford, the biggest payday of your life. I gave you the biggest pay-per-view of your life. I gave you the biggest fight of your life. All of these things are documented because all you got to do is go to Wikipedia and put Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, and all of these things showcase. And I gave you the biggest money of your life, all in one fight. So that tells you you should have been signed with me from the jump. But this also tells you the reason why he didn't sign with him from the jump is because that means he would have had to fight all of those PBC guys. You have to understand, when Terrence Crawford just entered the welterweight division, he was thin at 2018. He was just filling into that. So imagine a guy just going into that weight class and then being thrown up against a more primal Keith Thurman, a more primal Sean Porter, or more primal Danny Garcia. He would have lost some of those fucking fights.
He would have made it. He's not Floyd. He's not Floyd. He would have made it.
Yep. But so Bob Arum sheltered him from that shit.
Here's another thing. People talk about Floyd. People talking about they think Bud might go undisputed at 154. Only if he ducks on Errol Spence.
Yep.
Only if he waits for Errol Spence to be at 154 too long, have to move to 160. That's the only way. But it's a reason why Bud is ducking the rematch. He knows he can't beat Errol Spence at 154. He knows it. That's why he's ducking it.
Yep.
That's why he's ducking it. Think about this shit, man. When y'all made the fight at 147, you agreed to have a rematch at 154.
Yep.
Now it's time for the rematch. You tell Errol Spence, like, nah, we ain't doing the rematch 154. Let's fight at 147 again.
Yeah. Why would you tell a guy who could no longer make 147 we're fighting at 147?
So Errol Spence says, fuck it. I'm going to 154. Instead of you defending your titles against Boots at 147, now you coming to 154. I thought you didn't want to fight me at 154. No, he want to fight at 154. He just don't want to fight Errol Spence at 154.
Yep.
Press 3 if y'all agree.
Press 3 if you motherfucking agree, man.
And keep them cash apps coming, man, because we appreciate them. Keep them cash apps coming. We appreciate them.
Keep the super chats coming. You keep the cash apps coming. Donate to motherfucking motivate, man. But continue on to your point, bro.
Right. Only people who are ignoring these facts are people who aren't fans of Crawford. They're really Errol Spence haters, and they're the type of people who they worship people they like, so they can't hold them accountable.
Most people are not deep thinkers, man.
It's very simple. But something so simple, even an idiot can see this shit. If he's not going to give Errol Spence the rematch and stay at 147, then he should be fighting Boots Ennis.
Yeah.
If you're not going to fight Boots Ennis at 147, then he should be vacating those belts.
But he's not going to fight Boots Ennis. You know why? Because Boots Ennis is everything he is, but younger.
Right.
And Boots Ennis is going to be able to see everything that he does in the boxing ring, the same style, but younger and bigger. And he does not want that smoke, man. Let's be honest.
That's what I'm saying. And this is what I'm getting to, the Duckers. So if you don't fight Boots Ennis, now you got to vacate belts. Because you can't just sit on those belts and not fight anybody.
Yep.
So you don't want to fight Errol Spence at 154. You don't want to fight Boots Ennis at 147. So Errol Spence goes to 154, and now you go right behind Errol Spence to fight at 154 when you just said you don't want to fight at 154. That's ducking.
That's ducking. It'll make no sense. And then you want to try to create your route to fight a Madra move, whatever you call that dude. But guess what? You know what Al Heyman did? Al Heyman was like, oh, you think you slick? This is what he told. He called Jamel Charlo behind the scenes. Hey, Mel, you're the undisputed champion at 154. Go and activate your mandatory. He's your mandatory. So basically block the fight. Because now Jamel Charlo is asking to fight that same dude, Madrimov. But guess what? You know how weight classes work. The champion gets the last say-so. So if I'm the champion, I activate my mandatory. You can't come in a newcomer at 154 and get the damn fight. I'm the one that's going to get preferential treatment.
If you signed for a rematch and then you ducked the rematch, you didn't get the last laugh.
Exactly.
Buzz basically doing what Tyson Fury was doing with Deontay Wilder and waiting Deontay Wilder out so he got older and older. At the second fight, they had to go to
Litigation.
they had to go to mediation to get the rematch because Tyson Fury was trying to duck that rematch.
What's today's date?
The 24th.
Today is April 24, 2024. So if Spence fans are speechless since July 29, I mean, it's been so many months later. It's almost been a year and we're still speaking. So how are we speechless? You can continue on, man.
But one thing I realized about Bud fans, they're just as retarded as he is. Have you ever tried to read a Bud Crawford tweet? You will get an aneurysm trying to read his tweets.
Yeah, he be hurting my brain cells, man.
He's worse than Meek Mills.
Yep.
He said some of the dumbest shit in the world. That's because people don't realize that Bud Crawford ain't all the way there. He's not.
Facts.
He not. Because if he was, he would be a lot more calculated than what he is. He knows in his heart he didn't want to fight a rematch, but he put himself between a rock and a hard place, just talking. And now when it was time to put his feet to the fire, he said, "Nah, I'm staying at 147." So now he's stuck.
Yep.
If Bud Crawford never fights Errol Spence again, it's going to go down to black eye his career. Press 3 if y'all agree, man.
Press 3 if you motherfucking agree. Donate to motivate. Super chats, cash apps are up. Donate to motivate, man. Ross, you're on fire right now because guess what? What Terrence Crawford has to do, and this is what they've tried to sell. This is what the media's tried to do. They tried to basically push this narrative to say, well, the rematch is not what boxing fans want. It's not what the public wants. Well, if that is the case, name a fight that's better than him fighting Earl Spence. Name a fight that's more quality than that. Please tell me.
If that's not what the public want, what do they want? They definitely don't want. They definitely want Crawford Madrigal.
Exactly.
They don't want that.
Nope. So you mean to tell me that is more watchable than him fighting a rematch with Earl Spence? And if you're Terrence Crawford fans, I would be saying, hey, Crawford, you beat this guy supposedly, definitively. Guess what? Get back in there. It should be the same result. That's what they should be saying. They should be clamoring and saying, whether if it's at 154, whether if it's at 160, whether if it's at 175, it's the same result. That's what I would say if I was a Crawford fan.
Right.
But why aren't they saying that?
If you really believe that, push for it.
Exactly.
That's how you know Crawford fans know that Bud got away one that night because they know how Errol Spence really looks. Even Bud Crawford knows that, and what they're doing, they're making Crawford into the Black Canelo.
Yep.
Whenever Canelo's put in a predicament where he's forced to fight somebody, and it's not at a disadvantage, his fans push for the fight not to happen. And now Bud Crawford fans are doing the same thing.
Exactly.
They do not want to fight. They do not want Bud Crawford to fight Errol Spence at a weight class to where he's not going to be disadvantaged.
Exactly.
And y'all not the real fans of boxers for doing it.
Let's switch gears. Floyd is the equivalent of General Mills. He's a name brand. Floyd is the equivalent of Target, Walmart. We know these name brands. These are globalized name brands that are trading at the highest levels.
Right.
Everyone doesn't know is there's a store called Dollar General, unless you in the hood.
Right.
And you know about a dollar store. Not everyone goes to a dollar store shop. You could ask 10 people, and I guarantee you 6 or 7 people be like, what is a dollar store? Because they don't go there. But they all go to Target. They all go to Walmart. They all know what General Mills is because they eat different kinds of cereals that has the General Mills label on it. What people have to understand is Devin Haney is a Dollar General Floyd. He's a dollar store Floyd.
Facts.
He's not the name brand. He's not the General Mills.
Facts.
It's just like when Denzel Washington said about Blue Magic. He said Blue Magic is a name brand. I put my name behind it because it's like General Mills. But this shit you sell, this is the knockoff. This is not name brand.
Copyright infringement.
Copyright infringement. So that's what Devin Haney is. He is a copyright infringement of Floyd Mayweather because of the fact that when you look at his style, he can't hug the way that Floyd hugs. If you notice, when Floyd hugs a fighter,
Floyd clinches.
Floyd
It's a difference.
nullifies both hands. You can't even hit Floyd when he hugs you.
That's a clinch.
It's a clinch.
It's a clinch. It gets you up around the upper arm, so you can't
Yep.
really. Long enough for the ref to come reset y'all.
Exactly.
Devin Haney. There's so much about fundamental boxing that he either can't execute or doesn't understand.
Yep.
At all. And he's been getting away with a lot of shit because he kind of favors a young Floyd Mayweather Jr. And what they tried to do, and they failed, was they tried to make Floyd. They tried to make Floyd and Devin Haney relatable aesthetically instead of fundamentally.
Exactly.
So they wanted to look like Floyd, but they didn't want to actually fundamentally do what Floyd does. Why you think Devin Haney blows up because fat, super fat, bigger than Errol Spence after fights?
Yep.
Because they want to look like Floyd.
Yep.
They want to look like Floyd, but they don't actually want to actually learn what comes after this.
Yep.
It's supposed to be this. It's supposed to be that. But all he does is this, and this gets knocked out.
Yep.
They don't want to learn the fundamentals of what makes Floyd Floyd. They want to look like Floyd.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like,
well said.
Like you got Frosted Flakes, and then you got you got Tiger, whatever. The anorexic Tiger that's on the low brand shit. It's a difference, man. It's a difference between Tony the Tiger and the anorexic Timmy.
Yep.
It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? It's a big difference, man.
It
and
is a huge difference.
Another person that's chinning, he just fights the right people at the right time, is Terrence Crawford.
Yep.
And Terrence Crawford proved that against Gamboa and a lot of people against Mean Green.
Yep.
If he doesn't fight,
Mean Machine showed it. That's why we knew the real Earl didn't show up, because Earl would have folded him.
If he doesn't fight the right fighters at the right time, he could get stopped too. Don't be surprised if Crawford's first loss is by a knockout.
People forget all fighters have inside information. Just like Earl had inside information on what Crawford liked to eat, I'm sure Crawford had inside information that, hey, Earl can no longer make 147. So you fight him at the right time. And here's what Crawford did that people didn't pay attention to. Crawford made sure he fought a fight in between to prolong Earl Spence's 147, even though he knew Spence shouldn't be at 147 anymore. And then Spence turns around and gives fight fans the fight at 147 to honor boxing. I think the lesson Earl Spence learned is, fuck you fans. I'm no longer honoring you motherfuckers no more. Right. Because if I damned if I do and I damned if I don't, I give you guys this fight instead of you guys saying, you know what, shout outs to Earl Spence for giving us the fight. No, you go and shit on this motherfucker. So now he's going to make sure the rest of his career, he's going to shit on these fighters, and he's not even going to give a fuck about you guys, period.
When we think about Crawford's whole career, he's been catching people at the right time.
Yep.
His whole career. He is what they say Floyd Mayweather is.
Yep.
He fought Mean Green. Mean Green was damn near a year out of boxing, 300 some days.
Yep.
He fought Gamboa. Gamboa was like 200 some days out of boxing, undersized.
Mm-hmm.
He's always fighting people at a detriment. He has never fought nobody at their best.
Yep.
Ever. Because if he wanted to fight Errol Spence at his best, he would follow him at 154, not 147.
Shout out to Bernard Games for the cash app. $3 cash app.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? He would not have fought Errol Spence at 147. He would have fought either that, or he would have never took a fight against some no-name guy instead of fighting Errol Spence. He did all that just to make Errol Spence wait longer and longer and longer. The guy is not like that, man.
He's not like that. And here's the thing: Earl Spence's style. There was no Earl Spence style. First of all, Earl Spence didn't even give you Earl Spence. So how is his style made for Bud? And then the other thing,
he's barely standing.
How's Earl Spence not going to be the same fighter when he tanked the fight? He gave the fight away. When you give someone the fight, that means you didn't really show up. It's one thing if you showed up and then you got the shit beaten out of you like Devin Haney. Devin Haney actually showed up against Ryan Garcia. And I don't want to hear this nonsense. Now we can switch back gears, because now what they're trying to do is say, well, Ryan Garcia stepped in 3 pounds overweight. But here's the thing. Devin Haney honored Ryan Garcia honored it by what? Paying the man 1.5 million. He could have also said, fuck the money, you're 3 pounds over, I don't want the fight, and canceled the fight. But he chose to take the 1.5 million. So no fucking excuses, people.
Right.
He took the money.
The only reason why I've brought that up on my TikTok is because now Ryan Garcia is saying that he deserves those belts that Haney got because he won. If you want those belts, you should have weighed in like everybody else.
That is true.
Now, the way Devin Haney lost got me thinking he would have lost anyway. But it probably wouldn't have been that dominating.
Yep.
But the way he lost, he would have lost anyway because he's just chinny. He can't take no flush. As soon as he get hits, he's hurt and it's visible.
It's visible.
And when you get hurt like that, that's like a knockdown. So every time you get rocked, you lose a round because of how you react to getting rocked. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it's like, so I don't think he would have won anyway. But I'm kind of checking on Garcia fans for thinking like that Ryan Garcia actually went in there fair and square. And no, Ryan Garcia had an advantage, and Devin Haney had an advantage because he always coming in fights 40 pounds over.
Oh, we're all in the same agreement. See, you talk reckless when it comes to Crawford, but you talk right when it comes to Devin Haney because we've already said it. Devin Haney has nowhere to go. I think this fight right here mentally has fractured him. So what you're going to see is it's unfortunate, but any guy that he fights that's on a Ryan Garcia level or higher, they're going to be able to beat him up even more decisively. Because what Ryan Garcia did is he basically took Alfredo Santiago's blueprint and he made it even more visible. So when guys fight Devin Haney, they're going to look at the Alfredo Santiago fight. They're going to look at the Ryan Garcia fight, and they're going to say, oh, this is how we beat this guy. Because all they got to do is wait till Devin Haney goes. Because one thing about Devin Haney's habit that you could tell he has not changed is he goes into that mode where he tries to hug you with hands down. Soon as Devin Haney goes into that survival mode, all you got to do is punch in between that. And that's where you can knock him out. You either could knock him out or you could drop him a few times. And it's going to be a continuum of that. And then here's the thing about getting hit. Mike Tyson said something great amongst all of the other bullshit that he said. Everyone has a plan until they get hit. Now that Devin Haney's got hit, every time he gets hit, it's going to be a recall in his brain of what happened in that Ryan Garcia fight.
Press 3 if y'all agree. Press 3 if y'all agree. Donate to motivate.
Yes, donate to motivate.
But Haney,
agree.
Haney is the only one that's trapped. Terrence Crawford trapped.
Yep.
Because either he goes to 154 and fight people we don't want to see, which is going to bring attention to him, or he fights Boots at 147, or he fights Errol Spence.
That young. And let me tell you something, man. This is why Al Heyman is a master of putting you in that boxed wall.
Right.
Because Al Heyman puts you in a position to where you still have to do what he wants you to do. Oh, you think you're gonna get out of this the rematch? All right. We're gonna make sure you're gonna have to deal with this motherfucker here.
Right.
The pressure's gonna be on you. We know you don't want to deal with him because you made it very public that you don't want to fight Boots Ennis. You've actually admitted that you don't want to fight Boots Ennis because you said it's high risk, no reward. So you're basically saying this guy's too dangerous for you. So why even waste your time to fight that guy at 147? When you know that this, let me tell you something about Boots. People think me and you don't want to give Boots credit. We just didn't like the Manginas. When the Manginas get behind someone, you'll see me and Ross get quiet. But we're always going to tell you the truth. If I'm looking at Boots Ennis from a boxing standpoint, this guy was bred to box. You could tell he's been bred to box from the youth. Even when Floyd comes out and gives the stamp of approval, you know the guy's legit. You look at Boots Ennis, this dude is crafty. This dude can box. He has power. I'm telling you right now, man, he'll knock the shit out of Terrence Crawford before Terrence Crawford knows what the fuck is going on. And Terrence knows that, and that's why he doesn't want to fight him. Let's be honest.
The reason why I didn't jump out and give him too much credit because he hadn't proved nothing that much to me, even though he looked good. But the fact that Terrence Crawford is openly ducking him, that gives me all the credit. That gives him all the credibility he needs.
Exactly.
The fact that Terrence Crawford just ducked him.
Yep.
But after you beat Errol Spence, and you stand at 147, you're supposed to fight Boots.
Yep.
You didn't fight Boots, and now you're trying to go to 154 and not fight Errol Spence too? That gives Boots all the credibility. He rather go to 154 and fight somebody, a no-name fighter at 154 than to fight Boots Ennis.
Yep.
So Boost got it for me, man. Soon as
Yeah,
Terrence,
when manginas are supporting someone, you'll see me and Ross get quiet. But when the dust settles and the manginas quiet down, then we start giving these guys their true credit. That's how we operate. We've always operated like that. We always knew behind closed doors that Boost was for real. But y'all was over exaggerating him at the time. And when you do something like that, and then we knew he was fighting tomato cans at the time, we're not gonna give the endorsement. But when we saw that Terrence Crawford, this is when I knew he was afraid of Boots. When they had the very last interview, and Boots finally grew a pair of nutsacks and was like, "Yo, we sent you the contract. You don't want to fight me." And then Terrence Crawford was doing that detour shit. Man, what? You sent what? Come on, man. People know in boxing when a fighter sends a contract, you see it down the pipeline. So you see the contract down the pipeline, and then all of a sudden you act like you didn't see the contract down the pipeline. That is a
right?
legitimate document. That's when we knew, okay, you fucking ducking this
He's
kid, man.
ducking. He's ducking.
You ducking.
He's a coward at the end of the day. But all Bud will be known for is collecting belts. He'll never be known for beating anybody in their prime. He will never be known for that. Like
Exactly.
you said it best. Bud ain't try. He collected belts. Yeah, against people who nobody cares to see him fight.
Yeah.
If you really want to collect the belt at 154, let's go ahead and fight Errol Spence after he fights Fundora. Take Errol
Exactly.
Spence belt.
Exactly.
Take Errol Spence's belt at 154.
Exactly.
Because that belt that match involves, if there's a fighter at like Errol Spence your weight class and you take a lesser fighter's belt, that belt don't even matter. You ain't beat the real
It don't
fighter in
make
the weight
sense.
class.
That shit don't make sense.
Press 3 if y'all agree.
Press
You ain't beat
3
the
if
real
you
fighter.
motherfucking agree.
Errol
And
Spence,
don't let them
and I
motivate.
guarantee you, if you look at the match involved, it's something wrong with match involved. Either he coming off the injury, he coming off a loss, or he ain't fought in a long time.
And Terrence Crawford knows that he can get an easy tune-up off that situation.
Terrence
Come on,
Crawford
man.
is always fighting
in
somebody.
that fight, everyone's gonna look the other way when Terrence Crawford loads his gloves, because he loads his fucking gloves up.
Yeah, he loads the fuck out of him.
Yep.
He loads the fuck out of him, man. Y'all donate the motivate. We give y'all that fucking heat right now, man.
Exactly, man.
We give y'all that
It's
heat right now.
to motherfucking agree. Donate to motivate. You got the Cash App up there. You guys have. I don't know how that happened magically. I don't know if YouTube just say, okay, we'll give him credit. We'll give him a grace or whatever. But I got my super chat back up, so super chat is activated too.
Right. I was surprised.
But I didn't even fucking know when that happened, to be honest with you.
so listen. It was so far long ago.
Yeah,
I forgot what super chat was even called. That's why I could ask you, what is that? What is that? I forgot it was called a super chat because we ain't been seeing them shits.
Yeah. And that's what made me laugh when I saw that shit. I was like, what did I do right this time? Because I know I've been doing everything wrong.
Right.
Now I realize with YouTube it's just a matter of if they feel you're okay at that moment or not.
Right.
Them fuckers, man, they're a monopoly, man. And that's why your ass got to work through TikTok. And it's fucked up.
Yep.
But they need a competitor, man. They need another competitor. And then that's when they're going to start being honest.
Facts. Man, anybody could look at those gloves he was fighting on Spence with. Just look at them. They didn't even look right.
Exactly.
They didn't even look right. Like, so much shit had to happen for Errol Spence to lose is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So can you imagine a payout this next fight? Because if Terrence Crawford don't retire early to avoid Spence, he's gonna have to fight him again. Everybody's gonna have their money on Terrence Crawford because they really believe they really believe that was real. And can you imagine the payoff going to be where Errol Spence wins in fucking KO fashion?
And you know that was Al Heyman's masterful playbook, right? Okay, he's ducking the rematch. Here's what you do. Because Al Heyman is so intelligent. He's a shrewd businessman. He's a lawyer. And on top of that, the dude is an advisor. So he probably advised Spence to say, okay, force his hand. Just go fight Fundora. We'll give you what you want. And then this is how you could tell Al Heyman runs boxing. Leonard Ellerbe came out. What'd he say? Earl gets what Earl wants. Mm-hmm. These dudes be basically they be pumping their biceps in front of the whole masses in the boxing world, and no promoter or nothing else can say shit about it. For Leonard Ellerbe to flex that way, especially after Earl supposedly lost, Earl gets what Earl wants because he's Al's guy and Al takes care of his guys. Mm-hmm. So what about Terrence Crawford?
Terrence Crawford don't want to be our guy. He want to stay on that side because he know if he become PBC, he really got to fight people.
Exactly.
There's no way he would have had this prestige. And Terrence Crawford hasn't fought since he fought Spence.
Yep.
What happened? Did he get injured? There's something wrong with him? Why is he not fighting nobody?
Exactly.
Because he knows the people he got to fight. He waited for them to take a loss. He waited for Boots to take a loss so he can say, "Oh, I don't got to fight Boots."
Yeah, exactly.
He wait for anybody he's supposed to fight to take a loss or to look bad so he could discount them. That's why
what he did with Jamel Charlo. Once Jamel Charlo lost to Canelo, I don't have to fight him.
So I don't got to fight him. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm telling people right now, man. He moves up to 154. He fights Madrigal and don't fight Errol Spence. That's a fucking duck. I don't care what nobody say. Press 3 if y'all agree, man.
Duck. I should see 3 if you motherfucking agree.
I should see nothing but threes going up and down this chat.
Exactly. And we should also be seeing super chats and cash out because I have access to super chat. So I mean, even if it's $5, man, I know you guys have $5, man. I know you can scratch $5 out your ass.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is people watch boxing. The majority, the casual fan watch boxing from a adoration point of view. They don't watch it. They're not connoisseurs of it.
Nope.
If you're drinking wine just to get drunk, any wine would do.
Exactly. Woo.
Any wine would do if you're drinking wine just to get drunk.
That shit went over a lot of people's heads. What you just said.
But if you're a connoisseur of wine, the cheapest wine you could drink is probably Taylorport. If you're a connoisseur of wine, you can't drink Mad Dog 2020.
Yep.
That's what dope things drink.
Yep.
You can't drink Thunderbird. You're a connoisseur now.
Yep.
The lowest level you could drink for shits and giggles is Teleport.
Yep.
Everything else is on the high end.
Exactly.
Now you only drink Teleport when you on some hood shit. Everything else on the high end when you're a connoisseur. But when you when you just want to see violence or you just want to see your guy win, you don't care about the quality of the win. You don't care about the stipulations in between of the win. You don't care that Errol Spence looked like he was out of it on the way to the ring. You just care that he won. You just care that he won. Why? Because you was raised with no integrity.
Yep.
You was raised with no integrity. You were the guy who, when it was time to pick up, you just wanted to get on the best person team. You never wanted to play against the best person.
Yep.
You never said, nah. You stay over here. Hey, me and you gonna be captains. You never did that with the best person on the other side.
Yep.
Because you didn't care how you won. You just wanted to win. Y'all type of niggas that put Madden on rookie. and put NBA Live, NBA 2K on rookie and all-star. And then with the school and brag talking about you blew somebody out by 100.
Yep.
Because y'all don't care about the win. Y'all care about the integrity of the win as long as you win.
Exactly.
My generation was different.
Yep.
My generation was different. You had to play the game at the highest level that you could play it at.
Yep.
And win. Then niggas would be like, all right, I honor that.
Yep.
All right, I respect that.
Yep. There had to be credibility to your win. And that's why you're always going to have the Devin Haney fans of the world. And that's why you're always going to have the Terrence Crawford fans of the world. Scratch out any win that you can get, however you can get it, with whatever advantage that you're going to get. Because that night, Terrence Crawford loaded and padded his gloves. It was very clear. You saw Derrick James's face like, oh, my goodness. This motherfucker got away with concrete gloves. To the point that when he grabbed the gloves again, Derrick James went back and grabbed it again because he couldn't believe it. And then Terrence Crawford moved the gloves away from his hand immediately. He was like, what the fuck? That's why this motherfucker is like. And then on top of that, Spence was weight drained. Then on top of that, Spence was high as a kite. Then on top of that, Spence didn't have his legs. Then on top of that, it was just so many things that happened behind the scenes. And then Michael Jai White comes out. You would think by then everybody would be like, well, damn. You have to understand why Michael Jai White coming out is so prominent and important. Because Michael Jai White is a credible person with high morals. Salute to you, Linwood Hall, man. Before I even continue on what I got to say about Michael Jai White, make sure y'all donate to Motivate. Press 3 if you motherfucking agree. We got the cash apps up. We got the super chats up. So donate to motherfucking Motivate. But Michael Jai White, is a dude that's known in Hollywood. See, what people don't realize is boxing is a part of Hollywood because it falls under the umbrella of entertainment. Let me say it again. Boxing is a part of Hollywood because it falls under the umbrella of sports. Sports falls under the main umbrella of entertainment. It's a form of entertainment. You have one of the Hollywood guys come out who is one of the guys in Hollywood that's known to not deal with Hollywood people. He has very high morals, integrity, and he has high values. Everyone respects Michael Jai White because Michael Jai White won't never put on no fucking dress when he's doing acting. This is a guy who has a high degree of integrity. He comes out and tells you at the end of the fight that another inside person in another form of entertainment, i.e. Hollywood and sports, came to him inside information and told him prior to the fight Earl didn't have it that night. You would think everybody would be like, damn. And he went on Vlad TV. Let me explain how the Vlad TV platform works. It's a platform that's set up to bring people in to expose people. Let me say it again.
Right.
It's a platform that's set up to bring people in to expose. Why would Michael Jai White go on that platform to give this piece of information if it wasn't credible? This is a man that's staking his reputation on the line. He's staking all of his prominence as a Hollywood actor, respected actor on the line, his credibility on the line. All to what? Why didn't Terrence Crawford and them sue him after he made
right? I was just gonna say that.
Come on, man.
That's how you know it's credible. They didn't even try to refute it.
There was no defamation of character. There was nothing. No law. There was no nothing.
They didn't even try to refute
everything you motherfucking need to know.
They acted like they didn't want to hear it because they didn't want to get no credence.
Yep.
They didn't want to get no credence. If somebody said something about you that's super egregious, you're rich and they're rich, you can make them pay for that easily. You call your lawyer up and just say make them pay, they're gonna do the rest. You don't gotta do nothing. But
shout out to Linwood Hall, man. He gave a hell of a cash app. $25, man. Salute to you, brother.
Man, salute, bro. Because those are cash apps that put us on the map right there.
Exactly.
Linwood Hall, salute, bro. Salute.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is, man. You know, he kind of favors you, man. So maybe that's what it is, bro. Brothers like, man, I gotta give my boy that money.
Brothers from another mother, man. We all looking like some type of way.
Exactly.
We all family. We all family in some type of way.
Exactly. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate you, brother.
But at the end of the day, people need to understand that now that it's growing and growing close, to God revealing more and more truth is just coming out left and right. Y'all think Bud Crawford not gonna get exposed on a grander scale for rigging these fights? That's coming out.
It's coming out.
Everything's coming out.
Yep.
Everything's coming out. You see in Hollywood. I've been on my TikTok. I've been putting it out. And this is a side thing. We're gonna get back to what we're saying.
Diddy now is good. They're tearing his ass down now.
But Drake and Jay-Z are next.
Yep.
And Kanye gonna be next too if he don't stop. If he get off this Julius Caesar shit, talking about he God.
Yep. They come.
I don't worship people I'm a fan of.
Yep.
When I think you deserve someone that could go to bat for you, I would. When you're on some bullshit, I'll call that out as well.
And I always give Ross credit for that. When it comes time to call a motherfucker out, he'll call him out. Like me, when it comes time to call a motherfucker out, I'm gonna call a motherfucker out because I don't give a fuck.
I'm just not heavy-handed because I have my own flaws. I ain't never called myself God, so I'm gonna be on that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, as you see on TikTok, well, y'all haven't seen because y'all didn't know I have a TikTok, but on TikTok, I put out how Drake is connected to Lucien, and Lucien's nephew is the manager of who? Ice Spice and Sexy Red. That's the reason why he's always in their videos for promoting them. This shit ain't got nothing to do with talent. It's all about who knows who.
Who exactly?
But 20 years from now, we would have never had known that.
Yep.
But because things are drying out, everything's coming out to the light. So same thing's gonna happen in boxing.
And that's what people don't realize. People don't realize all of the things that's happening behind the scenes. People are just going by what's placed in front of them. They think, oh, well, this is the outcome of the fight, so this is what we have to believe, not realizing there are so many things that are happening behind the scenes that you're not privy to. That's why they call it behind the scenes, man. Actually, all of the real shit happens behind the scenes.
Lemuel Hall, that fight with Gary Russell Jr. coming up. That's a tough fight, but he could get it. If anybody could get it done, he could get it done.
Yep.
But he has to start off early.
Yep.
He takes too long to start. He got to start
Yep.
early.
Yep. And he's older, so he definitely needs to get his start off immediate. If he doesn't, then it's going to be a long fucking night for him. And he hasn't fought in a while, so he's going to be Russell. He's going to be rusty. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, his younger brother, Gary Antoine Russell, that kid right there, boy. And you know what's the interesting part about it? He was the one, when nobody else said it, he was the one that said it right before the fight. He said, I'm going to tell y'all right now, don't be surprised. Ryan Garcia is going to beat Devin Haney. And everybody was looking at him like, what? He said, I see something there. He's going to beat Devin Haney. And then when they put the mic on him at the end of the fight, he was like, I told y'all. Because he said what Ryan Garcia did, I would have done the same thing. I wouldn't have boxed Devin Haney. I would have just hit him with power because I know he don't got no chin. Some fighters, you don't need to box with them. Some fighters, you just need to hit them with a power shot and get them up out of there. Boxing is not always boxing. Boxing is about being smart enough as a pugilist to know what tools is at your disposal for that particular fight.
You box a banger, you bang a boxer.
Yep.
So if you see someone who only wants to box, they don't really want to bang, you bang on them. Like, look what Floyd did to Zab Judah. They were boxing for a little bit. When Floyd started hitting with something, you start realizing, oh, Zab don't really, people don't Zab's hindrance was his chin too. When he realized Zab don't really want it like that, Floyd stopped boxing with Zab and just start walking him down. Like, oh, this dude don't really want to, he don't really want to be in here fighting like that.
So let me load up my shots.
Let me load up. Let me absorb and load up. And next you know, he was finna get ready to stop Zab Judah. Zab Judah had to give him a low blow to survive that fight.
I don't think, here's the thing. I'm going to give Zab Judah credit. Zab Judah is such an integrity fighter that I don't think he wanted to do that because he's the type of fighter you could tell he wanted to lose on his shield. I think he was motivated by his father to do the low blow.
That was
in between the rounds. His father went to him and was like, "Yo, do this shit." And you know he listened to his father. I think that's what happened, but I don't think he wanted to do it, man.
But
I think he wanted to lose fair and square.
You are accountable for what you do, not your intentions behind it.
Exactly.
Even if somebody manipulates you to do it.
But this goes back to what we talked about, right? Fathers have such an instrumental indoctrination in their sons' lives, whether if it's good or bad. And with a father's in your life, he can be very instrumental in how he moves you. That's why you see what's going on with Bill Haney and Devin Haney, because Devin Haney is being instrumentally moved in the wrong direction by his father. Kind of like how Teofimo Lopez, it was the same. This is why fathers are so critical, because fathers can either move you in a very positive light or they can move you in a negative light, because they're that voice, they're that reason. And this is why I always respect Earl Spence Sr., because Earl Spence Sr., even though he's in the mix, he's not in the mix. Let me say it again. Even though he's in the mix, he's not in the mix. He still allows him to have freedom to think for his own fucking self.
He's not trying to train his son, knowing good damn well he don't know nothing about boxing. But here's the thing. I think I know the big thing when it comes to Devin Haney. Because it's not just he's chinny. He has no resistance at all.
Yo, his punching resistance.
Because chinny people could take certain hits. That it's the real hard ones. They be like, oh.
Yep.
Every time he gets hit flush, he panics. So they're not doing any sparring.
Yep.
And if he's sparring people, he's not sparring real. Is my phone too close? He's not sparring real people who could actually who could actually make him work and get him used to being hit. This is like every time he gets hit, he panics, man.
Yep.
You know who else does that? Keith Thurman does that. Whenever he gets hit with a good one, he panics.
Yep.
And guess what? You seen Keith Thurman, you can see him get ready for fights. Keith Thurman be playing, man. Be at Planet Fitness.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Be at his crib. Like, you'll never really see him sparring with nobody real like that. Keith Thurman been getting by in his career because he had a strong right hand.
The last time he sparred for any fight And I honestly believe that was the fight that he sparred for, was the fight against Sean Porter, man. Because that's when you really saw him grind it out. Because he knew he was going to be fighting against a grind out opponent. So he had no choice but to put guys in front of him that was similar to Sean Porter, because he was able to nullify Sean Porter's grind out by just basically prolonging it, wearing him out, tiring him out. But that is because he had other sparring partners that were similar to a Sean Porter that was giving him those looks. Because if he didn't have those sparring partners, even though he edged out that fight like this, he would have lost.
Yep.
He would have lost.
He barely won that fight, man.
Barely won that fucking fight.
He barely won. And that's and reason why. And another thing, if Sean Porter had power to go around with all that raw physicality, he would have
knocked out Keith Thurman.
He don't got no power. So you could. Only thing you got to worry about Sean Porter is his head and his shoulders.
Yep.
You got to worry about his head and his shoulders, man. He don't got no power. And
that's another fight. I'm glad we mentioned Sean Porter. That's another fight. Sean Porter was definitively dominating Terrence Crawford. And then out of nowhere, he runs out of gas. Out of nowhere, he was careful the whole fight. But then in one round, he's not careful. He opens his chin up. He wasn't opening his chin up all those damn rounds. But then he does that out of nowhere. Come on, man. This is the shit we talk about behind the scenes. To make a fighter seem like they're more than what they are. To give them that Transformers appearance, even though they're not Transformers. These guys have to, from behind closed doors, they have to accept certain things. Hey, let's make it close. Let's make it entertaining. But around this round, around this time, you're going to have to do this. We saw this with Caleb Plant and Canelo. Caleb Plant could have been the Dimitri Bivol before Bivol. Let's be honest. He was doing the same thing Bivol was doing up until what round? Now all of a sudden he's dapping Canelo. He's dapping Canelo. He's like, good fight. Come on, man. People don't see the shit that's happening in front of them. Pay attention, man.
The reason why he started doing that towards the end is talking like that, because he had to wrap his mind around what he was getting ready to do.
Yep.
And before he did it, he had to get validation from Canelo. Like, hey man, when the fight was real, I was doing good, wasn't I? Basically what he was saying.
Exactly.
If this was a real fight, you'd be in some shit, wouldn't you? Basically what he was saying. And then
that's exactly what was happening.
And then he got dropped, got stopped and shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit was so fucking fake. It didn't make no sense.
It didn't make no damn sense. And the other one that was fake, Kell Brook. Kell Brook was out jabbing Terrence Crawford. Kell Brook was dominating. I remember.
He had his eyes swollen.
I remember when me and you was calling that fight. You called every shot that Kell Brook threw on Terrence Crawford. You're like, man, Terrence Crawford getting his ass whooped. And then out of nowhere, Kell Brook holds his punches. Kell Brook act like he can't fight no more. And then he looks at Bob Arum. Me and you saw that at the same time. He looks at Bob Arum, and then all of a sudden he puts his chin in the air. And Terrence Crawford ain't even nice like that. Terrence Crawford didn't even go for the chin. He threw like an air punch, and then this dude stumbles over, man. This shit was so fucking
ridiculous, man. Hey, man. Do not get on no suspect shit.
Don't
get on no suspect, man. Donate to motivate. Man. Press 3 if y'all agree. No suspect.
Yeah, we don't want to be hearing about Johns and shit like that, man. I don't know if we have the stomach for that.
Yeah, man. But
we have to be honest. You know, in 2024, we actually have people that listen to us that identify themselves as they, them, and her. So now we have one that is identified as a pronoun. So we have to be very careful with how we move with this, because now we're going to be hearing Johns. We're going to be hearing about Terrence Crawford's package. So I just have to put that out there. It's about to happen, y'all, in the chat. So y'all need to get ready. If you want to close your ears off, get ready, because there are Terrence Crawford fans that have come on our lives and said that they're willing to get on their knees and suck Terrence Crawford dry. We've actually heard the words be uttered on a fucking live. It's disturbing, but it is what it is.
Or they judge who they think gonna win at the weigh-in when they look at the packages.
Press 3 if you motherfucking agree.
and I wish I was exaggerating, but that was said. But anyway, at the end of the day, back to Devin Haney. Devin Haney's pretty much on his way out of boxing, if y'all don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
You only go so far with a weak chin.
Yep.
You want to go
If
so
I was
far?
Devin Haney, I'll announce my retirement. To be honest with you, you're 30-0, well 30-1. You got undisputed. You got something that really, let's be honest. Now we know you're a paper champ. You made some good money. I would announce my retirement. Fuck the bullshit.
Might as well.
It's not worth any more further brain damage or anything like that. You fought 30 professional fights. What more do you need to do?
And then the people that's in his corner, you can tell his father is using him for money.
Yeah.
You or he's delusional. You know your son is chinny. Every time he gets hit flush, he almost gets knocked out. He gets wobbled.
Yep.
Why would you then tell your son it's okay to allow a fighter to come in overweight, knowing that changes the course of a boxing match?
Exactly.
You should have said, listen, we're willing to do the fight with Ryan Garcia, but he got to make weight like everybody else.
Yep.
But the money is so good, and you so thirsty for the money.
He saw the money. He didn't
you
even care about his son's livelihood.
You ain't care about your son's livelihood because people are dying by it.
Floyd and them got so much morals and integrity when it comes to stuff like that. Even Deontay Wilder has that. Deontay Wilder called off the fight when he knew that dude was on steroids. He's like, fuck that shit. I ain't gonna fight no dude that's roided up.
Right. I know you're
like,
roided
you
up.
just gotta have enough integrity to know when a fight is not gonna work out. So what if you had to do the training camp and all of that? Why would I fight a guy that's coming in with an advantage like that?
Right.
Even though I'm making the money that I'm making. Fuck that shit.
At the end of the day, we're not gonna let boxing be taken over by the what's the white boy's name that's been boxing all of a sudden, the brothers. The Pauls.
Big Paul?
The Pauls aren't gonna take over boxing. They come in overweight and do whatever they want. They're not real boxers. Now the real boxers are moving like these amateur guys and not taking the sport seriously.
Exactly.
And if you allow it, you're just as guilty as Ryan Garcia coming in because you allowed it. If anything, you should have said, if you come in overweight, I'll allow it, but I need half your purse.
Yep.
I guarantee you would have came in. He would have came in at the weight class.
Because nobody had to reweight again. He'd had to reweight again.
Nobody giving up their half of their purse.
But see, this is the inside information that we talk about, Ross, right? Ryan Garcia knew inside information that Devin Haney and them love money so much that a price, even a small price tag, they would be okay with it. That's inside information. Look, 1.5 million, and he was like, "We're good."
That ain't nothing, because Ryan Garcia makes that on his social media.
Exactly.
That ain't nothing. That's money Ryan Garcia had in the
and let's not forget, Ryan Garcia made $12 million betting on himself, so he made 10.5 of the 1.5 that he.
This is the reason why you can't just have anybody in your corner. We want to know how you know Floyd really care about Tank Davis. You know how many how many people try to give Tank Davis these type of deals?
Yep.
Let us rehydrate to 30 pounds heavier than you. Let us weigh in heavier than you. Let us do that.
Yep. And Tank made sure Ryan Garcia was not going to rehydrate on his ass.
Floyd ain't never put Tank Davis at no detriment for a fight. If he lose on his own volition. It won't be because he damn near loses going into the fight.
Yep.
Come on, you know your son, Tim. Your son not tough like that. He cannot fight nobody that's already fully rehydrated and strong.
Yep.
He can't do it. He's not that
people
good.
Got mad at Tank, and now they're looking at what Tank did was the right thing. Tank is just basically telling Ryan Garcia, honor boxing rules. You know you're not supposed to come in overweight. You know you're supposed to make weight.
Right.
And they got mad at Tank for that. But then when it's Devin Haney that loses, they bring it up. So that goes to show you they don't really care about boxing. They care about who they care about.
They care about seeing black fighters lose. And if a black fighter wins, it has to be a white approved black fighter.
Exactly.
It can't be a self-owned black fighter that fights for a black company. It got to be one that's owned by white people. Those are only black fighters they want to see win. It's the reason why they hate
one
Spence.
Under Eddie Hearn, one under Bob Arum.
Yeah, it's the reason why they hate Spence, but love Crawford.
Yep.
And now that what's the name with PBC, guess what? They're gonna love Deontay Wilder now.
Yep.
Remember all that hate Deontay Wilder? They're gonna love him now because
love him. They love him. But I made a comment. I made a comment the other day. I laughed. I said, "But Al Heyman already made all of the money they need to make off of Deontay Wilder, Eddie Hearn has the has-been version. So
One thing,
out him losing sleep over that shit.
one thing I realized about suspect people, the LGBT community, it's either they don't. It's either nothing is about race, or they make
Yep.
even stuff they ain't got nothing to do about race.
Facts.
It's an extreme. It's either they out trying to march with black people, some people they don't have nothing in common with,
Yep.
or nothing is about race. They can't never just understand what is about race. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
the whole boxing entity was built on race. If you know the history of boxing, you know there is no boxing without racism.
Exactly.
Why you think that
Jack
Devin Haney?
Johnson.
Why you
You
think that
you
Devin
talked
Haney?
on it with Jack Johnson, with Jan Johnson screwing all of the damn white women. It was like, oh hell no.
Jack Johnson,
Whoever
yeah.
comes after him, you can't do that no more. So we need to model you in a different way. No. Muhammad Ali being too boisterous, too loud. Oh no. We're gonna say, hey, you go to
Because,
Vietnam or you don't
right,
box anymore. And then what do? They take 2-3 years off of his prime to screw him over.
yeah.
When
It's
in those
always
2 to 3 years, he could have been having more undefeated fights. Let's be honest.
it's always been about race. Only the only people who say shit like that are the people who at work, right? Who in the break room talk all the big shit, but when they're around the boss, they laughing at jokes that ain't funny and shit and kissing the boss ass. Those are the people who always say, because around the boss, they be like, man, there's other black people think everything about race, but I'm different, man. I know you're a good guy. Then in the break room, they be like, man, dude, racist as hell, blah, blah, blah. That's those people. Anybody who knows anything about real boxing, though, boxing was built on race. It was created in slavery.
Facts.
Except for they didn't box, they used to actually fight to the death, and people used to make bets on people.
Well said.
So it's created in slavery, so of course it's racist. Of course it's racist. Joe Louis had to give half his purse for the rest of his career just to get a title fight. You don't think that's racism? To get a title fight, because the person he's getting ready to fight said he don't fight black people. To get the title fight, he had to pay the dude he was getting ready to fight for the rest of his career.
Yep.
Y'all prove how much y'all don't know about boxing when you start trying to discount how much racism plays a part.
Yep. And see, what people got to understand is, I'm gonna say this, Linwood Hall. Al Heyman is where everything is at. And when people say Al Heyman is not a good businessman, but at the same time, PBC makes the biggest fights, PBC generates the biggest revenue, PBC brings in the most money, PBC gives people the most entertainment, you're really not paying attention to what the fuck is going on. Al Heyman is going to work with whoever he works with. Right now, it's Amazon. And if Amazon is not doing what they're supposed to, Al Heyman is going to go wherever he's going to go. This is how business works.
But
I'm going to go where it makes business sense.
But I'm going to give you the science behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Golden Boy is tanking, Top Rank is tanking, the Zone almost went under the watch of Eddie Hearn. They will never say a white man's not a good businessman, because they equate white people with good business. They equate white people with being aficionados, with being at the top. So they'll never question a white man's business acumen, even when it's horrible.
Yep.
They will never question it, but they will say Al Heyman is a bad businessman. When think about over the last 25 years, who has given us the best fights? Has it not been Al Heyman?
Exactly.
Has it not been Al Heyman?
Exactly. Well said.
The only time Top Rank, Golden Boy, and Eddie Hearn is in big fights is if they're a part of PBC. Eddie Hearn ain't ever no good fight without PBC. Golden Boy and Top Rank sure hasn't done it. Nobody even watched Top Rank events. They're free on ESPN.
Exactly.
They're free on ESPN. You don't want to know why these guys are leaving the PBC? Because they don't want to have to do what happens when you lose. When you lose, you got to start yourself back up.
Exactly.
So they want to go to Eddie Hearn and skip that process, not knowing they're going to have to do it over there too.
Yep.
And those guys, think about their dynamic, their mental. They always were weak and they always were subservient. Deontay Wilder was always subservient. So it makes sense that he's with Eddie Hearn.
And that's why it makes sense why you always had that white manager. What was that dude's name again? The one you kept telling that he needed to fire?
Um, Shelly Finkel.
Shelly Finkel. It makes
He
sense
was
now.
all Deontay Wilder was always subservient and docile.
Yep, and he was gullible, and that's why the LDBC was able to fuck with his head. He was gullible, man.
Always. But at the end of the day, you'll see what they doing, huh? You'll see.
Oh, you already see it. That's why he lost the way he lost in the first fight. They're gonna treat him like a punching bag.
He's a gatekeeper now. He's
Yep,
over there. He's over there to throw fights to make white people look good.
exactly.
These other companies don't really want any white stars.
Yep,
Look what Top Rank did with look what they did with Bud.
facts.
They could have gave Bud that Pacquiao fight. They wouldn't have found somebody all the way in Australia to give that fight to. Because they'll be damned if they make a black fighter a star.
Yep,
Bud undisputed over there. It was not a star. He didn't become a star till he came where? To the PBC.
exactly.
How you undisputed and you not a star?
Exactly. And what did Al Heyman do? Al Heyman made him 2 times undisputed. Damn, that's another thing Al Heyman did for him, man.
It made him a star overnight. Nobody was checking for
Overnight.
Bud. Nobody was checking for Bud.
Nope.
Nobody. All the shit they said about Lomachenko, nobody was checking for Lomachenko. Lomachenko still does not have a sold out pay per view. He's not a pay per view attraction.
Exactly.
Tyson Fury was not a pay per view attraction until he fought who? Somebody for the PBC. PBC been running boxing, man.
Yep.
Y'all love sucking that white dick. And it's okay if you do it on your off time. But I just don't want to hear about it.
Yep.
You can't. Ain't no such thing as they want Pac-Man to get hurt. If that's the case, make him retire. You don't give a fight like that to somebody we never heard of. That's bad business. That's the reason why. That's the reason why Al Heyman has surpassed Top Rank. Bob Aaron's supposed to be at the top, and he's not. Bob Al Heyman is. How is that? How is that? Because of things like that. That would never happen to PBC. That would have never happened to PBC. Jeff Horn would have never got no title shot over Bud Crawford at the PBC. It don't make sense. Nobody knows this guy. Why is he getting that type of shot? But the thing is, half of the men in the black community, they're afraid to hold white people accountable, and they're super heavy-handed, judgmental against their own people.
Exactly.
If you're gonna be judgmental, be that. If that's and you were raised to be judgmental, you had an overbearing mom, and now you act like her. Be like that with everybody, though.
Exactly. And that's where, and that's why you see, and that's what you see with the barbershop conversations of the world. Really a white guy with a black skin, you know, and the way that he moves. I mean, bragging about, oh, I'm creating business investments in baby daddies, neighborhoods, and stuff like that. You don't glorify you as a black person making investments in an area where you should be really bringing your people up, but you're talking about that. That's some shit a white person would do. But when they do it behind closed doors. They have to get caught on camera doing that. They're smart enough to say it behind closed doors, and you're saying it in front of people. That tells me everything I need to know. And then when people say, you must have missed Forbes, Matchroom is worth more than Top Rank at PBC. Let me explain something to you. It's not Matchroom. It's The Zone. The Zone is not even owned by Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is like the equivalent of what Bdiddy is to these tequila companies or these liquor companies. You know, he gets a small percentage, but he's not really the boss behind the scenes. The Zone is not just sports. The Zone is not just sports. The Zone is a conglomeration of different entities of entertainment. And they have a board of directors and a bunch of people that's sitting there. Matchroom Sports happens to be not even an umbrella. They're so small, they're not even an umbrella. They're just basically what we would say
a subsidiary. A subsidiary.
There you go. Woo, you said it. I was just about to say the word.
You enunciate your words, but you enunciate your words better than me. So you said,
"Yep, a subsidiary." That's what it is.
That's what it
is.
A
subsidiary to fucking The Zone. So because of that, Matchroom Sports can pump their chest as a subsidiary and say, hey, well, we make more than these guys, when in actuality they don't, because you
They
have to
don't.
now go look at Matchroom Sports by itself. And if you go look at
Right.
their portfolio by themselves, you'll see that it doesn't even hold a candle to Top Rank, let alone PBC. So the reason
Hey,
why
hey,
Eddie Hearn is smart enough to over fluff his portfolio is because he's using the zone numbers to affiliate it with Matchroom Sports. I'm a businessman. I know how this shit works. You're not, you don't know nothing about business. So in your mind, you're thinking what you see in
and
front of
then
you
and
is
then
what
and
it
then
is.
and then Forbes cannot be trusted either. They can't
Exactly.
be trusted. They never ever calculate the numbers when there's an independent or when there's a self-owned black person. Never ever. They
Yep.
said Kanye was only worth 1.3 million, and Bloomfield came
Exactly.
out and said no, he's not. His total assets is 6.6. How could they be that far off if it's not racially
Exactly.
motivated? You're proving
Exactly.
our point with this shit. But here's another thing. Let's say that is true. Let's say all the calculations is true, even though I know they're false. Let's say they're true. You're comparing companies that have been around for over 40 years,
Yep.
50, 60, I think Top Rate been around 60, 70 years,
Yeah.
to something that just started up 25 years ago with Floyd Mayweather
Exactly.
Jr. and
And
Al
I
Haney.
hang it.
Of
But
course, they're going to
I'm
have
glad you
built-in
brought that point up. I'm glad you
right.
brought that point up because you could say the zone is just like Top Rank. You know why? Because the people, the conglomeration of the board of directors that own the zone as the big umbrella that it is, are old money that's been around 60, 70
Oh
years.
money, oh money,
So this
and
is
then
what idiots like him don't understand.
and there, here's another. There's another. People don't know. You could use your company. Your company could be like you could make your company into like a person. Did you know your
Mhm.
company could buy stock in other companies and shit, and it
Facts.
don't have nothing, and you could get money and it have nothing to do with what you're putting out there. It's
Exactly.
it's it's the stock you buying and shit, and the shit that you investing in.
Yep.
Like a lot of people pay their bills not even from their own account. A lot of people pay their bills from a business account. Their business is like a person and shit.
Exactly.
You did that business go to work? Did that business put out any product? No. You know what I'm
No.
saying? But you could,
No.
but you could buy stock with that business.
Exactly.
And you can look at a product and tell it's not better than PBC. Just look at it.
Exactly.
Who watches top ranked boxing? So how the fuck
This
are they
is how
making
you
more
know.
money?
This is how you know what Ross said was right. Because this goes back to Ross's point. Fuck business. Let's talk about Ross. Ross said the app is going to crash and burn. That's exactly what happened. If you notice, nobody watched any big fights through the app. What do? They watch fights through pay-per-view. That's why the zone had to go to the pay-per-view model. But this
Just
was
that
something
alone,
Ross called so many years ago.
just that alone lets you know that they ain't had to go belly up. They wouldn't belly up. They ain't go fully belly up. But they're about to go belly up because of Canelo. They invested all that money in Canelo. He did not come through.
Exactly.
And that app shit don't work for boxing. Matter of fact, most people don't watch no sport or no app.
Yep.
Now, and especially now, boxing. Boxing is a ritual. People
Yep.
order their fight. They go get the
Yep.
pizza. They go get the wings. They go get
Yep.
the hard liquor. They charge
Yep.
people to come over.
Yep.
Niggas don't get no app that's crashing every 30 minutes.
The
You know what I'm saying?
idea behind it
Was
was a
stupid.
great idea, but here's the problem.
I feel
It's
like it
not
was
for
dumb.
this time. It's
Yeah.
not for this time.
It's for 30
They
years
tried
down
to
the
rush
line.
an idea too soon. This generation and this time, you have to know what works. And this is why you could tell Al Heyman is a smart businessman. If anybody was going to run the app and do it successfully, it would have been Al Heyman. You know why? Because Al Heyman would have brought it out at the time that it made sense to bring it out where it wouldn't glitch, meaning the app is not no longer in beta mode. The app is in full-blown working mode to where it won't be able to glitch or anything like that. Anyone knows any app you have, even the best apps right now are still all in beta mode because apps glitch.
Donate to motivate. Donate to
Yeah.
motivate.
And press 3 if you motherfucking agree.
You agree.
Apps glitch. That's why sometimes you see you have to update apps. You have to upgrade apps. Apps are not even performing at its fullest maximum proficiency. And then you're talking about a video, a streaming type of service, like you're streaming a fight. How do you think the app is going to be able to carry that bandwidth all the way through? That
Right.
makes absolutely no sense.
With
An app
millions of
can't
people,
carry that.
with millions of people giving it hits, millions of people trying to get the fight, it's gonna crash, man. And another
Exactly.
thing, back to what I was saying earlier. Y'all comparing a company that's been around what 25 years. I want to say I just want to say I want to say the PBC because they formed with Floyd Mayweather been around about 25 years, maybe 30 before it got big. Matchroom and them been around forever.
Exactly.
All because you got more money and you've been around don't mean you the hottest thing right now. Right now, the hottest thing right now is Elon Musk Cybertrucks. They're the hottest
Exactly.
thing right now. They're the hottest
Exactly.
thing smoking. Bigger than
Exactly.
Ferrari, bigger than everything.
Exactly.
Do they got more money than Ferrari? No.
Exactly.
Do they got more money than Mercedes Benz? No, they don't.
Yep.
But are they the biggest right now? Yes, they are.
Exactly.
They're the hottest right now. Point blank, period. So who
Period.
runs boxing has nothing to do with your total assets. We don't know where them assets came from. We don't know where they came from.
Exactly. PBC's
Especially
only
when you
been around. PBC's only been around. You're right, less than a decade, and it's already cornered the market. I can't wait to see what the next decade is gonna look like, man. That's what people don't fucking understand. Here's the other thing too.
understand.
Here's the
Y'all
other
talking
thing
to
too.
niggas who actually do this. The niggas who read books and shit.
Exactly.
PBC
Here's the
started
other
official.
thing.
PBC
Here's
started
the other
official in
thing too.
2015. So they wasn't even calling it PBC back then. So
No,
Mayweather promotion been around longer than PBC.
exactly, and that's why Floyd, when he says, um, Mayweather Promotions and PBC is the same, he's right in saying that because the establishment of PBC came off of the establishment of his superstardom.
Bro,
And basically, Al Heyman used his superstardom to leverage it into being able to have what he has now. That is what you call smart business, man. You
2015,
take something that you
that ain't
have,
even been 10 years.
exactly.
It
You
ain't even
take something that you
2025
have,
yet.
you take something that you have and you leverage it into everything else. That is smart business right there.
And that's
I mean,
crazy
you
because
can't get no smarter than that, man. I'm sorry.
I'm thinking PBC go all the way back to when Floyd left
No, no,
HBO.
all of that was just Floyd.
All
PBC
that was
didn't
just
get.
Floyd, and back then Al Heyman was just working underneath and just
He was Al Heyman
yeah,
was building the foundation. He was building the concrete through Floyd.
yeah.
And then notice right when Floyd was getting ready towards the end, because that's right, 2015. Remember he fought who did he fight that year?
Pacquiao.
Andre Berto.
He
So
fought Pacquiao and
he
Berto.
fought Pacquiao in 2015. So right towards the end, he basically was like, all right, let's start building the foundation. Let's start building the lay work. And then that's what ended up happening. Then you saw in 2016 the transference of power. All of the guys that were on the Golden Boy that Al Heyman was using to leverage as an advisor, they all went where? PBC.
No, if I was a boxer, I would want Al because guess what? Al puts you in predicament to own your own fights
Exactly.
and to own your own trademark.
Yep.
Eddie Hearn and them own you when
Yep.
you fight for them. You are owned
Yep.
cattle.
Pretty much.
When you fight for Top Rank, you are owned cattle. They give you
And when has
advances.
Bob Arum ever had the best prospects?
Ever.
Woo!
They give you advances. Whenever somebody give you an advance,
Mm-hmm.
they own you because that's not
Yep.
money. That's a loan.
Exactly.
The
And when
advances
you can
alone.
tell Al Heyman is so powerful because this is how you can say he's so powerful. I've never seen any fighter say this about any other person. What do they always do when they get on that mic? We want to thank Al.
Yeah.
I've never seen them do that with anybody else, man.
You can understand.
Everybody does that shit. We want to thank Al, and then they go to whatever shit they're gonna talk about. We want
Because
to thank Al Heyman,
Al
and then
makes
they go say whatever they say.
Al makes you a business, whereas you're just a prostitute to the other people. You're a prostitute. They keep you broke so they can maneuver it. When you're broke, you're gonna throw a fight if they tell you to throw a fight.
Exactly.
Because you're broke.
Yep.
You're gonna take a fight at a disadvantage. You're gonna do whatever they say because you're broke.
Yep.
Al Heyman used to pay Pacquiao from Pacquiao's own back end money. Pacquiao didn't even know he was supposed to get back end money off pay-per-views.
Exactly.
Al Heyman, Bob Arum would give him a flat rate.
Yep.
Off the back end money.
Yep.
It's sick out here, man. Don't nobody in a right mind No, nobody who actually want to run their own business and actually want to be the man, um, go to Top Rank. Only people who don't want to only people who don't want to be bothered with running their own business go to Top Rank because they want somebody to do everything for them.
I mean, look at Canelo. Canelo when he gets mad because Al Haymon is like, no, you need to fight this dude. He always be trying to bounce around, but what he always come back to? He always come back to Al. You know why? Because he knows Al Haymon takes care of him like nobody else, man. That's what he knows that. It's like, man, we get paid good. Man, I remember me and you remember when Eddie Reynoso was bragging about how much money he converted into pesos at that time. He couldn't even fucking believe it as a trainer that he was making that kind of money because he's never made that kind of money before.
I always find it funny that people come in during the conversation as it's flowing and want to change what the conversation is supposed to be about, but they don't even donate to the platform.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, bro, like you don't even donate to the platform, but you want people to. We were already talking about that. You're late.
Yeah, exactly.
You're late. We done beat that down. You're late. We done already talked about that. Exactly. You have to get here early. And if people talk about social injustice is gonna offend you, then you're gonna be offended every time you step into this platform.
Exactly.
We're talking boxing. Boxing and racing, that should go hand in hand. The biggest fights is black people against non-black people. Why? Because they be wanting to see black motherfuckers lose.
Exactly. Well
That's
said.
That's the biggest fights.
Well said.
Maybe want to see black people lose. So it's racism embedded in boxing. So if this hurts your feelings, why are you even here?
Exactly. Because they want to be told a lie. This is the problem. A lot of people go to platforms that already has a PBC hate agenda. So they're looking for anything to try to big up one person and then shoot everybody else down. If you're a person who doesn't like Al Haymon, you're always going to go to whoever is the hottest person at the time. Prior to Eddie Hearn, it was Bob Arum. Prior to Bob Arum, it was Oscar De La Hoya. See, these guys, they keep recycling on who's hot, but Al Haymon keeps staying hot. Y'all didn't catch what I just said.
Right.
These guys keep recycling on who's hot at the moment, but Al Haymon stays hot. So then they have to now use this person to measure up against Al Haymon. Now Eddie Hearn.
At the end of the day, when you look at the biggest pay-per-view fights of all time, they're under Floyd Mayweather promotion or the PBC.
Exactly.
So when it comes to boxing in the last quarter century, what are we talking about, man?
Exactly.
Y'all talking about old slave money that Matchroom got.
Yep.
We ain't talking about that old slave money, man. We talk about this new
money, man. What's your terminology? If it don't make money, it don't make sense.
It don't make dollars, it don't make sense, man. Like
that's it.
We talk about the new money coming in, not the old. The old model is gone, man. That's over with. Bob Arum controlling everything and raping the fighters. That's over with.
Done.
That's dead, man.
And then people talked about, because I could address it too. Well, Boots left PBC or whatever. You have to understand, Boots and them stayed with PBC as long as they did. And guess what Al Haymon did? Al Haymon made his name a marketable name, even with him not being there anymore. Because now who's everybody talking about now? Boots. And all of this time, how did his name get built under? Who built that name up? PBC. And here's the thing what people understand. Al Haymon still works with fighters that is no longer a part of PBC because he's generous like that. He still advises these guys. He doesn't have to, but he does that because he's doing it out of the kindness of his heart. You know what they call that? They call that philanthropy. That's another form of business, by the way.
The hardest people to talk to are people who don't understand any point of view except their own.
Exactly.
When you're talking about a broad subject, and when you're so stupid you can't handle the broad subject, you have to bring it back to yourself. And boxing is bigger than any one entity, any one person.
Exactly.
These pay-per-view fights that become big, the majority of people don't think like you. The majority of people didn't come to see the skilled fighter win. They've been doing this shit back since the 1913s, the Great White Hope. They don't be want to see two black skilled fighters fight because it's too much skill and they're not smart enough to keep up with the skill.
Exactly.
That's why they say it's boring. When you watch people play golf, you think that's boring because you don't know how to play it. When you watch niggas play chess, you think chess is boring because you don't understand it. But the people who know how to play chess, they're thoroughly entertained by people watching chess.
Yep.
People come to these big pay-per-view fights when there's a non-black person to see the non-black person finally beat the nigga.
Exactly.
Regardless of what you watch it for, you are a small drop in the bucket. You are inconsequential to what the masses think. The masses get hyped when they see the Broners lose. They get hyped when they see the Wilders lose. They get hyped at the possibility of Floyd Mayweather losing. That's what makes those fights big and have all this allure. The fact that the black man might win to a non-black person. That's what America's been built on. People gauge how manly they are by fighting black people. And see if they can win. If they could be the black person, they feel like they tough.
Well said.
To the paying public. That's to who? And the paying public, in most parts, when it comes to anything, is white people. In hip hop, the biggest paying public is white people.
Yep.
Cause why? Because they're the majority here.
Yep.
And in UFC is white people. And boxing is white people. Why you think when you watch the basketball games, majority white people in the stands?
Exactly.
They are the paying public. So that's to who? The problem is y'all want to talk about shit and y'all don't understand.
You talking shit that's above their brain.
They don't understand life yet. You can't talk boxing till you understand life.
Exactly.
You don't know who pays the bills and why every now and then they need a white champion. Because they got to keep people around. White people don't want to see all black people dominate all the time.
Exactly.
White people to stop watching football a long time ago. Tom Brady ain't come around.
Exactly.
They got to keep them niggas in the seats. So every now and then you gonna have Garcia beat the hell out of Devin Haney in front of everybody, get humiliated.
Yep.
That gotta happen.
That has to happen.
That gotta happen.
To keep the goalposts moving. Press 3 if you motherfucking agree. Cash App, Super Chat. Make sure you donate to motivate, man. If you got an opinion, donate to motivate.
He's still talking about his own point of view. Your point of view is inconsequential.
Exactly.
It's what the paying viewers want. The masses.
Exactly.
The people who run the world run them off algorithms. The first algorithm was the census, what everybody want. They figure out how everybody think, who in your household, what do you do for a living. That's how they figure out how to manipulate you. It has nothing to do with one single person, one singular mindset.
That's why don't you notice every time you search something on Google, they automatically think, oh, this is what you like. So they keep throwing it back at you over and over and over again. It's the utilitarian theory. It doesn't matter what the minimum thinks. It's basically the overall, the general consensus. If this is what they like, this is what we're going to give them.
Right. And everybody else get put to the wayside.
Over and over and over again.
Everybody else get put to the wayside. And the reason why they let Floyd Mayweather rock so much is because the white people kept paying to see, is he going to lose? Is he going to lose? Is he going to lose?
Yep.
If they would have lost interest, guess what? Floyd would have had to retire earlier. He would have had to take a loss. But they never lost interest. They kept paying. They kept paying to see what he's going to lose. All because our small minority was paying to see him win. The minority never circumvents the majority.
Damn right, Lynn. Well, it's SAT word, utilitarian theory.
The minority never circumvents the majority in business. A business owner don't care about the minority of people who don't like their product. They want to keep providing a service for the people who do care.
Because they're looking at the utilitarian theory.
For the paying customer.
And this is what these idiots don't realize. These boxing fans, they keep saying, I don't care about boxing promoters. I'm a fan of the fighters. Everything else is gossip. This is the problem with you. You have not expanded your mindset on how this shit works.
Have to
understand, boxing is not about fighting. It's about business. So you actually now need to go relearn and educate yourself on the business of boxing, because once you understand the business of boxing, then you actually understand the sport itself. Because the sport is not run by, oh, we care that you like this certain kind of fighter and we're going to give you this fight. No, we care about the bottom line. And it just so happens that because we care about the bottom line, your fighter is going to happen to fall under the utilitarian theory of that bottom line. When you understand that, then you understand boxing. Until then, you're gonna be a fucking brainwashed, mindless fight fan.
Boxing and business is so intertwined because
Mm-hmm.
the first major business in America was manpower,
Yep.
slavery, right? That's where
Yep.
Boston gets its start set. That's why
Yep.
I think the majority of Boston contracts are slave deals
Yep.
because you still seen as a commodity, not a real person.
Exactly.
That's number one. And on top of that, listen to the key words they use to describe certain boxes. Certain
Yep.
boxes they call prospects. These are all business terms.
Yep.
Certain boxes they call stars. Certain
Contenders.
boxes, certain boxes they call cash cows. These are real terminologies in boxing.
Yep.
Those terminologies they use in boxing are used in Apple and Microsoft and shit.
Yep. Business world. Yep. You could say that a
Cash
thousand times over.
people who generate money, who are generators, like say a Kanye West is a cash cow because he generates money no matter where he goes.
Yep.
A Floyd
Yep.
Mayweather is a cash cow because they generate money.
Yep.
Stars, you can make money off stars, but they
Yep.
don't necessarily generate money.
Generate. Like
Canelo is a
Canelo.
star.
Yep.
He's a star. Floyd Mayweather was a cash cow. There's two different things.
Yep.
Somebody who has never watched a boxing match will still know exactly what I'm talking about. That's how intertwined boxing and business is. To say you don't care about the promotion means you don't care about the sport.
Exactly.
Because the promoters run the sport.
And the
sport
promoters are giving you the product. You have to care what they think because they're giving you the product. And if you don't care about who's giving you the product, then you are not learning the product the way you're supposed to learn it. So that tells me you're an idiot.
and the sport is dictated by what? Like everything else is dictated by the buying public.
Yep.
If you don't like a product, you could complain about it. You could give it a bad review, but you know the best form of complaint when you don't like a product, you stop giving it your business.
Exactly.
That's the best. And you convince other people not to do it too. If you convince 3,000 motherfuckers to protest somebody's business, you really now you're making a real stance. But
here's the thing, you know why boxing is never gonna go out of business? Because they know fools like this are gonna continue to run with that narrative. I don't care about boxing promotion, I just care about fights. They know this. So that's why they're gonna throw whatever cockamamie nonsense in front of you because they know you're gonna keep coming back.
And this is the reason why I don't believe in men giving their wives threesomes with other men because it feminizes you.
Exactly.
It feminizes you because that's not a masculine thing to do. It's not a masculine thing to see another man penetrate your wife because you say things like you don't have to insult us. No one's insulting you.
Exactly.
If this is an insult, where have you been? Have you been living on a rock?
This is the problem. The truth cuts. It goes to the scriptures. I got to throw the scripture out there. Now I got to get Ross to get the goosebumps, man. It says in the word of God is quick, is powerful, is sharper than any two-edged sword. Like a knife, it pierces through the dividing asunder of the soul and spirit, even through the joints and marrows. It's a discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart. So what we're doing is we're actually giving you spiritual truths because we're cutting through your DNA. We're cutting through your cellular structure. So when we cut through your cellular structure, it offends you.
And that's the thing.
That's why you're offended.
The niggas that cry so much about the sport, the niggas don't even pay for the sport, but y'all be wanting certain things to happen your way. You're not even part of the buying public, and that's the reason why you have no voice. That's the reason why a lot of times black people don't get the fights that we want. Why? Because we ain't paying for them no way. You're not part of the buying public. So what you say don't even mean anything. It's meaningless.
Exactly.
So you're sitting having a debate about somebody when your words they're not rooted in anything.
So you're really not a boxing fan because you're not even partaking in the product itself. And this is why the promoters, and this is why the powers that be, this is why advisors, this is why guys who run the sport, they don't give a shit what you think. And they're going to do it the way they want to do it. Don't you think they know that don't you think that they know that there's people that's like you? They don't. That means you're like the scum of their shoe. They don't give a shit about you.
And that's
they
what
don't care about those. And this is what Ross was talking about. Again, their consumers, mostly white people that sit in the front row. They care about those people, making those people happy. So they're gonna keep feeding those people what they want to keep feeding those people until those people are good to go.
And that's why I tell people a lot at the barbershop. Everybody say they always want this superior black fighter to fight this superior black fighter. They
Yep.
don't care about if they got names, if they got if the buying public knows who they are. They don't care about if this guy is marketable. They just want to see them fight. These
Yep.
people are putting their money behind the fighters. Businessmen, they'll put their money in empty investments. They don't give a fuck what you want to
Exactly.
see because they know
Yep.
y'all don't pay for the fights. The people who
Yeah.
are the fan of these two top fighters, they're gonna bootleg the fight.
Exactly.
This is the reason why you normally see in black against other races because that's what sells.
Exactly.
That's what sells, man.
They're not
At
thinking
the
about
end
you.
of the
They're thinking
day.
about the people that will go to the fights. They're thinking about the people that will actually invest the money. So they're going to market and basically create a business platform that caters to them. They don't give a shit about you, the bootlegger. Because if they cared about you, the bootlegger, they'd be ran out of business. This is why you have to understand the business of boxing, because once you understand the business of boxing, then you'll be able to see, like me and Ross. It's not like me and Ross are doing anything special. We just see the
Right.
conspiracies, we see the fake fights that's going on, we see everything because we understand the business. Oh, okay. Make sure Earl tank this one so that we can get a second one. And then after we get a second one, we can get a third one. That's why they created bilateral. We're smart, man. We understand the terminologies behind these things.
And then and
Oh,
then
there's money to be made in 3 fights as opposed to one fight. Oh, the way that they're marketing this to boxing fans' minds that, oh, this is the 80s all over again. Robert Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard. So let's do that. Those guys fought multiple times. So let's let these guys fight multiple times. You don't even understand what they're doing. They're recycling a platform that worked right in front of you just so that they can make more money off of your ass.
and then what y'all need to realize is y'all should be donating to motivate in this bitch because we give y'all gems. And another thing
Exactly.
is instead of turning on Pornhub when you get bored, man, read a fucking book, man. Read a book or ask Chat. If you don't want to read no book, just ask Chat GPT questions about random shit and
Yeah,
learn, man.
exactly. Yep.
Cause I learned this shit through first of all, I already was watching boxing for a long time. Then
Mhm.
I randomly took some economic classes and realized like,
Yep.
damn, a lot of these terms they use in boxing, they use in business in general. You start looking shit and
But
I
you know how you
start
understood? You know how you understood economics so fast? Because of I ain't gonna say it on wax because we're gonna keep it clean. But because you used to be a neighborhood businessman, that's why you understand.
right,
Neighborhood businessmen understand economics very quickly because they know
easy,
economics is the same shit they're doing. It's just a legalized version of it. That's it.
right, right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, bro he got critique about who fighting who, and then
Mhm.
on in the same breath he said, I don't even buy the fights.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, do you know how stupid you sound?
Mhm.
You hold this whole elaborate debate, and you ain't even pay for the fights, bro. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, that's why I tell people, man, leave the European
Well,
stuff to the
there's
European.
one comment that was made here. We could harp on that. Man, I wanted Wilder too to be first undisputed American heavyweight champion more than anything. We have had a heavyweight champion with all the belts, and who knows how long. Wilder would have been that if Wilder would have just stayed up under Al Heyman and Floyd and didn't listen to any outside people. He would have become that.
He
But
would have
the
had,
outside people fucked that up for him, and that's why he's not undisputed.
and he would have had that
Because
because
you need, like Floyd always say, notice when Floyd talks, the first thing he always says is, I have a great team around me. You need a great team around you because guess what the great team does? It keeps you grounded, it keeps you rooted, and
and it,
that allows you to focus on what you need to focus on.
and it keeps you insulated from bullshit.
Exactly.
You're insulated, so nobody could penetrate what you guys have going on because you have protection and you have safety faults. But when
Exactly.
you have an outsider in your inner circle,
Yep.
they're gonna do what's best for their people. Notice
Exactly. Exactly.
it's documented. It's documented that Tyson Fury works with the Irish mob.
Yep.
It's documented that he loads his gloves.
Yep.
It's documented that he purposely comes in 50, 60 pounds overweight.
Uh-huh.
All these things that we never seen from another, and he's gonna get away with all that. But when you don't have a Shelly Finkel in your corner telling you to take the fight anyway, you make him come down the size and have to deal with you on your level because you're the main attraction, not him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all the shit Tyson Fury said and did, he never was the main attraction by himself. But
Facts.
Wilder was. Everything was
Yep.
supposed to be under Wilder, what Wilder wanted, the gloves, everything, but none of it was.
Yep.
At his
And I'm gonna
detriment.
say
How did
this,
that
Judge,
happen?
even if Wilder never developed, Wilder still would have been undisputed. You know why? It goes back to Ross's point here. When you have a team that insulates you from bullshit, his word, you see, when someone says something, you don't need to recreate the word. You just use the words they use.
Yeah.
If he was insulated from the bullshit, he would have been undisputed. And he would have
Wilder,
done this as the first heavyweight without real boxing skills. You know
majority of
why? Because
heavyweight,
he had a great team around him.
majority of heavyweights aren't fully developed.
Exactly.
They aren't. They get their power. They get whatever they're good at, and they maximize it. They don't. Majority of
Yep.
heavyweights aren't. Muhammad Ali was fully developed.
Yep.
He's the
Lennox
only
Lewis was
one that was
fully
fully
developed.
developed with
Lennox Lewis was
footwork,
fully developed.
hand speed, got a chin. Like, but even him, he ain't had no body work. Very few heavyweights are fully developed heavyweight. I think Mike Tyson probably in his prime probably was the only one that was fully developed.
Yeah.
Fully. Liz Lewis was a great fighter, but he ain't had no footwork at all. He was flat footed. So majority
That's true.
heavyweights,
That part is true.
heavyweights are too big to be fully developed. So that you don't have to be fully developed to beat Tyson Fury. He's chinny as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got all these things going against you, floppy ass gloves, he's punching with his bare knuckles in the gloves. You got all this shit going against you because you aren't insulating yourself with with your power structure. You're on that docility. Still to this day, when you watch Deontay Wilder when he talks, he's still trying to prove his humanity to white people when he speaks, man.
Yep.
He's still super happy to be in their presence when they're supposed to be happy to be in his presence.
Exactly.
He's just happy to be here, man.
Yep.
And when you're just happy to be here, nigga, white people know exactly what to do with you.
But when you want our opinions on something, donate to motivate, man. We got the banner up. We got the Cash App up. We got the Super Chat up. We'll gladly give you our opinions, but donate to motivate, especially if you're trying to change the trajectory of the topic.
Right. But Joseph S ain't gonna donate to motivate. He just proves he's a low life that don't pay for pay-per-view. So he's not the type that he's not the type that donate to motivate. The rest of the guys, they ain't low lives. They'll donate to motivate. But he's the type that he won't donate to motivate. He don't even pay for the shit that entertain him.
So there's no opinion on that until we see a Super Chat, until we see a Cash App. Continue on with what you were saying, man.
Okay, 10 minutes, cool. Yeah, so at the end of the day, what you guys need to understand is until black people actually start buying pay-per-views and they can see, because they got stats and they got demographics. Even on YouTube, you can see the stats of who actually supports your channel, how many comments on the what. They had these things too. When they start seeing black people actually supporting, you'll start seeing more of the fights. It took forever to build the Errol Spence and the Crawford fight, but the reason why they ain't do like Pacquiao and Mayweather because they both was black. That's why.
Yep. And it still did half of that. And you know why it still did half of that? Because of Al Heyman's ability to market and Earl Spence's superstardom. That's why. For being honest here. That's why. Because Crawford, ain't nobody know who the fuck Crawford is. Let's just be honest.
Truth be told, this ain't my live stream, so I can't speak on that. But if it was my live stream, I wouldn't want other people like you to come on my live stream. I don't want nobody who has such a strong opinion about boxing come on my live stream that don't even support boxing.
Exactly.
Hell no. Hell no, man. At the end of the day, Tyson Fury is a flawed fighter. You don't have to be the perfect fighter to beat Tyson Fury, but you can't allow him to cheat either.
Yep.
Cheating overrides everything. You can't allow him to cheat.
This is why after the first fight, even though it wasn't a win or a lose, it was a draw. That was immediately when Wilder was supposed to say, "Hey, Floyd, Leonard Ellerbe, maybe I don't want y'all training me, but I want y'all to be over the fight. Make sure there ain't no dirty shit happening." Because Leonard Ellerbe would have been right there making them. You know how many times it looked like Robert Garcia wanted to fight Leonard Ellerbe on TV. Leonard Ellaby made him unwrap that fucking gloves like 4 or 5 times
Yeah.
just to get it right, because they don't play, man. They ain't got time to play. They want to make
And
sure everything is done above board.
and another thing, man. The reason why that fight was a draw and not a win for the champion at the two knockdowns, damn near devastating knockouts, is because it was a 3-fight deal.
Exactly.
And the business of boxing said it can't be no draw. It can't be no winner. It got to
Exactly.
be a draw. We know
Exactly.
Deontay Wilder actually won this fight. They thought Tyson Fury was better than what he actually was. They didn't think Tyson Fury would get knocked out.
And this is what
So
boxing does a lot of times. Boxing sometimes will question fight fans' stupidity just to see if they can get away with it. That was one of those fights where they were checking your temperature just to see how stupid you were. If fight fans would have came out and been unanimously, man, Deontay Wilder won that fight, that's fucked up. Then guess what the powers that be would have to ultimately do? They would have succumbed to it, because the utilitarian theory would have been, okay, you know what? This bilateral is not gonna work. The public has said that Wilder has won. We're just gonna have to let it be. And then they probably was the second fight. But because they know you guys are stupid, they're like, we're just gonna throw it up in the air, and then you're gonna have one side say, yeah, man, Fury won. And then the other side is gonna say Wilder won. So okay, let's throw a second one. And then let's throw a third one. This is how they operate. They operate based on what is put in front of them. And if what is put in front of them is question marks, oh, we could keep going with question marks. But if people definitively say this is what it is, then now you have to respond based on the definitiveness of the situation.
The biggest fans donate to motivate. That's what
Yep,
the biggest fans do.
exactly.
You have supporters, but the biggest supporters donate the most. Anybody could be a fan. Fan
Exactly.
is just short for fanatical.
Exactly.
You could
Doing
watch
them what
somebody
Hall did.
you could watch somebody from a distance all day, every day, and be a fan. But when you
Do
actually
what
support,
Jordan 6 times Bishop did. Do what Bernard Gaines did. Do what those guys did, and then do what Dutch Entertainment did. Then we could say you're a fan. See, when you donate, that's when you show it. See, this is a thing. There's a thing in life called proof, and sometimes people need to operate in the realm of proof. This is how we could tell that you are what you say that you are. There's a documentation behind it. There's a history behind it that shows it. But if there's no documentation or history behind it, then what you're saying is hearsay. And really, you know what hearsay is? Hearsay is just a nice way of saying bullshit. That's what it is. It's just bullshit.
right here or there,
There you go.
it don't matter.
Exactly.
He say, she say that, man.
Press 3 if you motherfucking agree. Any
You know what
closing
I'm saying?
thoughts that you have to say on this, Ross, before we leave?
Man, I done said everything I needed to say on this, man.
Man,
Everything.
you on fire. You was clicking on all cylinders, and guess what? You know how it is with us. We go live. Sometimes we may not see the full impact, but man, when you see guys come back months and months later saying what you said, you knew you made an impact. You knew you carved something out. And
As
this
I
live right here definitely put people in position to where it's like, you know what? These are the only two guys saying this, and nobody else is saying it. And I could rest my head at night and sleep very well knowing that we came in and told the truth that nobody else was willing to tell, man.
Yep. And I love telling the truth because it always makes the weak uncomfortable. It always
Exactly.
makes the weak uncomfortable, man. If you see a title and you're happy to see that title, you have to get on the live stream when it happens. You can't come 2 hours, 3 hours into the live stream and be like, "Why you ain't talking about the title?" Like nobody's going to talk about one specific thing for 2, 3 hours straight.
Exactly.
Next time, be on time, man. Next time, donate, and then you'll get people to talk about the title. You know what I'm saying?
Well
But
said.
if you're not a supporting member, then there's nothing you can say to get people to change the topic. You just got to sit back, relax, and be uncomfortable.
Exactly.
You
What
know what I'm
Ross is
saying?
teaching you is, if you want somebody to treat you a certain way, you have to teach them how to treat you a certain way. The people are just not gonna know how to treat people unless you teach them how to treat you. So
Fact.
if you want us to talk about Devin Haney and them, show up when you need to show up, so that we can basically talk about Devin Haney too. I'm a donate too. Donate now. We're getting ready to get off. That way we know that you're certified as a donator. So to go ahead and donate now. We're gonna leave it up one more minute just to see if you're gonna honor your word. It doesn't
Right.
matter if you came in here and you was hurt. The hurt part was to tell you the truth. You probably needed to be hurt because guess what? Now you're coming into the knowledge and the understanding and the enlightenment of truth. That's what
That's,
truth does. It opens you up.
that's
So the
facts.
hurt for you is a good thing because you probably heard a whole bunch of bullshit that coddled to your bullshit. We came in and told you something that didn't coddle to your bullshit, and now you accept it. So you got one more minute, man. I'm giving it one more minute just to see if you donate. Okay. All right, Ross. It's been real. Peace.
Peace.